following local program is a special presentation exclusively for the subscribers of Time Warner Cable.
The law offices of Young Woolridge. Kern Radio 1410. Real Rock 104. And Jesus Shack presents the high school football game of the week, exclusively on Time Warner Cable.
Good evening, Kern County. Game 6, Week 6, Time Warner's High School Football Game of the Week. This is Vance Palm alongside my partner in time, Brian Adams. And since I have the Bakersfield Californian with me, it must also be the Game of the Week for the Californian, of course. Kevin Eubanks will get to you in just one moment. Brian, partner, good to see you. This is an October game with November implications, the first league game for these two teams, but it's a very important game. Let's talk about the number 3 offense in Stockdale versus the number 9 offense in Centennial. Talk a bit about those matchups and why it's going to be a serious ball game tonight. Brian Adams.
Well, with Stockdale, you have Sam Betty. He's the quarterback. He's going to control the game, pinpoint accuracy, and makes good decisions. But he has in that backfield Ojukwu with him. And Ojukwu gives you power, catching the ball, and a burst of speed to go big at any time. And for Centennial, it's been a change for Chris Houston coming over to running back. He's pounded the yardage, and he's keeping behind that big line of Matt Reese. And also a quarterback there who sometimes doesn't get a lot of ink, but he's very capable of commanding this team down the field, and that's Jeff Crosby. Will beat you with his legs and has to give his arm a chance tonight to help his team win.
Thanks, Brian. Really looking forward to it. Hey, Kern County, it's Kevin Eubanks again, our special pregame guest. Nice to have you with us. First of all, you put out in the paper the Kern County rankings, information that you've compiled, data you've compiled. Number 2 team is Centennial. Number 4 team is Stockdale. Quick analysis of both teams, Kevin Eubanks.
Oh, you could put Centennial, Liberty, and Stockdale. You could mix them up anyway. Who knows who's actually a better team. We're going to get a good idea tonight with Centennial and Stockdale. 2 completely different teams, and it's going to be really interesting to see how these matchups shape out tonight.
A 24-game winning streak, well documented in Kern County. We all know that a 24-game win streak is not offensive alone. This defense is a big, strong unit. I have 2 questions for you tonight. Number 1, will or can Ojukwu get 100 yards against Centennial? And number 2, will Sam Betty somehow be the difference in this game?
Well, I'll tell you, Ojukwu is a sophomore, and this is going to be his first, big game. He had Clovis. He's had some big games earlier on. This is the first in-town big game. Here's Centennial. He did it against Bakersfield High, but can he do it against Centennial? I don't know. We'll see. This is his test. We're going to see if he's going to be able to get it done tonight. And Sam Betty, Sam Betty is the kind of guy who can win and lose a game for you, with the physical skills that Sam Betty has, it's the kind of guy I'd like to have throwing the ball for me.
If you're a Cowboy heading off to Vegas and you come back with 77% of your winnings, that's pretty good play and pretty good odds. 77% so far in your high school predictions coming into Week 6. Tonight's big game, you've chosen.
I chose Stockdale, but it was pretty much flip of the coin, and I've got to sit on this Stockdale side, and I didn't want them yelling at me all night. So, I thought, if I don't know, I'll take the safe way out.
Hey, Kern County, tip your hat to Kevin Eubanks. Thanks for all the hard work, and we'll see you tonight. Halfway through the midpoint for Time Warner's High School Football Game of the Week. This is a very, very big game. Both teams are 4-1. Both teams want to get a very good start off to their league play. Well, Stockdale is 0-6 in the last 6 years since Centennial has come over to this league. Tell me about the mental preparation they have to go to get over the hump tonight, Stockdale.
What they have to realize is some of these kids only been involved in one of the losses. You didn't have all 6 of them. You put in the back of your mind, you come out and you play Stockdale football. You do what you've done all year long, and you come out and try to take care of home field advantage and get that victory and get 1 leg up in the league standings.
That's Brian Adams. I'm Vance Palm. Thank you, Kevin Eubanks. Back in just a moment. Week 6, Game 6. I think it's the biggest game we've had so far. Centennial visiting Stockdale. Who's going to go 1-0 this first big-time league game? Back in a moment. Time Warner's High School Football Game of the Week.
Some things can't be built in a day. Things like honesty, dedication, good hard work, and integrity. Since 1939, the law offices of Young Woolridge has had one of the strongest personal injury teams in the entire Central Valley. Today, that team is stronger than ever before. Through the years, our attorneys have won some of the highest dollar personal injury verdicts in Kern County. Put our experience to work for you. The law offices of Young Woolridge. Integrity you can trust.
KERN News Talk 1410, Bakersfield's hometown news and talk leader. The station you can trust first for breaking news and the most complete local coverage. We are KERN News Talk 1410, bringing you the pulse of the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Make an appointment with KERN News Talk 1410, Bakersfield's hometown news and talk leader.
The media has become a staple in our everyday lives, whether it's a song, an advertisement, or even a news story.
Everywhere you turn, there's a message in one form or another.
Do you realize how much media your child is exposed to every day? And everything your child sees and witnesses affects them.
It's time to take action and become involved in what messages your child comes in contact with.
Filter out the negativity and let these messages be positive.
It's up to us to shape their future. Let it be a happy one.
700 laps of action squeezed into 2 days. It's the biggest event of the year at Mesa Marin Raceway. The 25th Anniversary October Classic, October 19th and 20th. The 2-day, $90,000 event will feature the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Series, NASCAR Super Late Model, Ultra Wheel Super Truck, Late Model, the Pro 4 Challenge, and the Cal Spa Super TT motorcycle. Over 200 drivers from around the nation, including NASCAR star Ron Hornaday Jr. Order your tickets now for the 25th Anniversary October Classic at Mesa Marin Raceway, the World Series of short track racing.
Good evening, Kern County. Welcome back. Game 6, Week 6. This is Vance Palm alongside Brian Adams and all of our crew at Time Warner Cable. We rock, and hey, Mom, she's on TV. And guess what? So are some awfully talented players tonight as the visiting Centennial Golden Hawks are here to kick off and kick deep back to the Mustangs of Stockdale. And we're underway for a very, very important league game tonight. Matt Shelton off the kickoff from Centennial, gets the ball up to about the 15-yard line. And Brian, amongst the many storylines tonight that we have to discuss between key matchups on the air and the ground and the 6-0, 0-6, depending on who you are, the 24-game winning streak. What about the rest of the league that's watching in tonight, west and north? There are a lot of things to talk about in this game. We look forward to it tonight. Let's get going. Mustangs have the ball on their own 15-yard line. We've talked endlessly about this talented offensive squad. Sam Betty at quarterback. He drops back right away, throws it off to the left side to Garrett Anthony, and all of a sudden Garrett Anthony breaks up on the first play for 25 yards, and he's out to the 40-yard line. Brian, your thoughts immediately.
Right there, they're going to Garrett Anthony. He's their speed receiver. They want to get him the ball and let's let him run. You know, we saw him against BHS make some huge plays, and he starts off already tonight with over a 20-yard catch reception right there. You see him right here to Cub Field. This is the speed right now. Dips in on the back, defensive back, makes a miss, and Mr. Porter runs him down, which we watched some linebackers, but he, in my opinion, is the best linebacker we watched all year so far.
And we'll be talking about Kevin Porter, I'm sure. 1st and 10, Mustangs on their own 40-yard line. Betty hands the ball to Ojukwu. Francis Ojukwu, our Week 1, Game 1 Young Woolridge player of the game, talented sophomore. Obviously, big things expected of him tonight. One of my questions in the pregame to Kevin Eubanks is, will he gain 100 yards?
Well, he's going to get some big opportunities for big plays because he's going to use his speed, and he's strong. You know, like I said before, he's a football player that runs tracks. He's able to run through some tackles. Right there, he ran to the heart of the defense, and the defense held up. But I think if you can get him to come off and tackle and get him in space, he'll have a chance to get some yards against this team.
Mark Perez split right. Betty hands the ball off inside to Garrett Anthony. Garrett Anthony pounds his way up to the 45-yard line. He's hit hard in there by Chris Houston, Eric Jimenez. So Ojukwu getting the action early.
Well, right here is the Garrett Anthony. He comes through out of his receiver position, gets the ball. Right there, Crane's going to converge, and Porter, like I said, Porter has the ability to cover the whole field. You know, you're talking about east, west, north, south. So when you have a linebacker like that, it allows your other players to just be free and make big plays. As you'll see, as we saw in the BHS game, Crane and Baker, all these guys made some big plays down the stretch.
Beautiful October night. This Friday night's buzzing. This crowd's fired up. Sam Betty drops back again, drops it off to Garrett Anthony. Mark Perez. Mark Perez really didn't get much.
And he's come up with a little gimp, he kicks the ball for him too. So you need him not to be hurt tonight. But fourth and about 4 or 5, and they might line up and try to do something here.
4th and 4. We're just underway in the first quarter, and here comes the punt squad. I remember seeing this the first week, and their first punt attempt in the first game of the first week didn't go so well, but I'm sure 6 weeks into the season they've got things down, and it looks as if Mark Perez feeling better, grabs a low snap. It might not be getting better, and it's not getting better. Kyle Coleman comes up with a big play in the first quarter, and once again, I don't mean to hex anybody, but it just seems that when you rush on the field like that, things seem to get shaky.
Well, the rush on the field has nothing to do with that play right there. They have plenty of time to snap the ball. He's obviously hurt before he even gets the ball, so we're going to see a low snap come out. You see where his hands are. The ball's almost 3 feet almost on the ground, and right here he's just trying to get the ball and make something happen, and covered right there by Coleman and pulled down and big play. And a lot of times we didn't bring it up, but when two teams are evenly matched offensively and defensively, sometimes it's special teams that'll make the difference in the game.
Centennial Golden Hawks, 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. A little trickery. Crosby in the shotgun. Crosby looks deep, looks long, and first play of the game, Kern County. Goodness gracious. It's Centennial on the board. Eric Minnis on a 32-yard touchdown to strike. And the Centennial crowd, I wouldn't say stunned, I would just say pleasantly surprised that first play from scrimmage, it's not Chris Houston up the middle, it's Crosby to Minnis for 35 yards, touchdown, 6-0 Centennial. Wow.
I like the play call by Nixon also, to give Crosby a chance to feel good about himself early with passing the ball, take the pressure off of him. And right there, that's exactly what you did. You threw a safe pass on the fade route, either the receiver catches it or it's incomplete, and you come back and run it, but it was complete for a touchdown. Big play, big strike.
Tyler Townsend knocks it through. It's 7-0. In Kern County, I shouldn't say trickery when I saw this early lineup difference. Minnis gets a haul in from an alignment that I was surprised from, Brian.
Yeah, because that's not. You don't think they're going to empty out the backfield and go.
1st and 10 on a capitalization like that on that 4th down they didn't get. I thought here comes this big, strong running game, and hey, what do I know? Hey, Kern County, look at these two cats. They're already involuntary judges for our tasty tri-tip rating. Time Warner, as you know, scours the globe, at least in Kern County, and we try to come up with what we believe is the greatest eats in town. Don't miss out on our tri-tip tasting. There's assistant coach Brad Showers. He wants to get this offense from Stockdale in the end zone just as quickly. Centennial, Brian, on the road just like that. They're up 7-0. They're loving it.
But week 1, we saw the same thing with this Stockdale team. We saw them go down 21-0. So I don't think being down will phase them, but that's exactly what you want to do if you're Centennial, you're on the road, come out and strike early and try to get on top of them really quick. Because you have a good defense that you would think not going to give up a lot of points. So now you put the pressure on Stockdale to get in the end zone and get the game tied up.
Deep for the Mustangs was number 4, Brad Shelton, and Brad Shelton gave everybody a bit of a nervous scare there, but he catches the kick on the fly and actually gets some good field position to start things off.
Yeah, that was a great play by Brad. That ball's a live ball. He does a good job of fielding it and taking on the run, and almost broke a big one.
So the Stockdale Mustangs, 1st and 10 on the 33-yard line of their own side. 9 minutes left in this first quarter. Quarterback Sam Betty running this offense. Let's see what they can do here on their second series. Betty hands the ball off to Ojukwu. Ojukwu up the middle, gets about 6 yards. Good strong yardage. They want that right away.
Yeah, and that's the beauty when you have a back like Ojukwu. He runs with some power too. He's a short, compact body, low center of gravity, good balance, but he's also not afraid to put his shoulder down and run through a player.
Gets him 6 yards on that first carry. If you're just tuning in, we're barely into the first quarter, but it's already 7-0 Centennial on a touchdown strike from Jeff Crosby. out to Eric Minnis, and tell you what, they're fired up on that Centennial side. 2nd and 4 for Stockdale. Betty again to Ojukwu. Ojukwu gets up maybe a couple of yards, brings up a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 maybe.
You know, Ojukwu's coming up a little limp too. And, you know, you don't want to see that. Your punter's already, and one of your good receivers, you know, he's hurt. He came up a little limp, and we haven't seen him back in the game yet.
One of our storylines was, of course, the matchups on the air. Quarterback Jeff Crosby for Centennial versus Sam Betty. I think we know already that Crosby's going to put it in the air. He's thrown one pass and it's for a TD. 3rd and 2. Big 3rd down. They give the ball to Ojukwu up the middle. Nobody's fooled, and the ref doesn't blow the whistle until Kevin Porter pushes Ojukwu back about 20 to 25 yards, like he was helping somebody push start their car.
They're going to put the ball up a little ways because it's when your forward progress will stop. But that's the kind of defense they have right there. You know, Porter's the lead of that defense, and you see him there pushing Ojukwu down to the ground.
Wow.
You know, and Vance, you know, we have a hurt player who has ice on his leg over there, so Mark Perez, and he does their punting. Now Sam Bay's going to punt for him, so, you know, he probably hasn't taken that many reps in practice. This could be a big thing, a big play for him.
So Stockdale punter Perez down. Sam Betty doing the punting, and all-around athlete Sam Betty kicks it off. Chris Houston punts it off. Chris Houston hauls it in at the 25-yard line. Fair catch. And Centennial will now have the ball on their own 25-yard line. It's 7-0. We're halfway through the first quarter. Mustangs had a quick surprise by the Centennial offense. They put it in the end zone very quickly.
And Vance,
talk to me, Brian.
Punting-wise, they're going to be okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the Mustangs are worried after Sam Betty, their quarterback, punted a 55-yarder and basically stalemated Chris Houston. So interesting going-ons already. Here comes Centennial High again in this aggressive formation. Crosby all by himself. Two receivers split right. 3 receiver backs split left. Crosby, late count. Look at this. Interesting stuff. But not interesting enough. Houston looked like he was over in the corner looking for a flea flicker. All that really happened was Crosby got sacked, and doggone it. Here's our guy.
Mark Perez.
Mark Perez is down already. It looks like he's got his cleat off. Ice on the ankle. Could be done. Well, could be a storyline. Let's see. We saw Betty punt it deep, but
he's also one of the receivers, too, and with really good hands, so that's definitely a player they count on.
2nd and 15. Golden Hawks lose 5 on that first play. Now we've got movement on the Golden Hawks, so after a quick strike touchdown, last 2 plays, or last 2 attempted plays, haven't been much for Centennial.
Well, you know, and that's the situation you want Centennial. I know that they just threw a touchdown strike on that first play, but you want them to have to pass on you when you know they're going to pass, because that gives the advantage to your defense. Now you can blitz, and you can play some zones and try to trick the quarterback into making a bad throw.
I saw what I thought in that last play was Chris Houston dropped back as it was going to be maybe a double pass or a flea flicker or something. You know, could there be trickery tonight going on?
And they could be. You know, they could be setting that play up for later, but, you know, the way he's running the ball, I'd imagine they're going to throw it to him, let him catch the ball out like we saw Garrett Anthony get the ball.
Ball goes off to Houston. Houston scrambles back to the line of scrimmage, which is still 21 yards short of a first down. So 3rd and long coming up.
You know, and with Houston, he's a kid that never stops his legs turning. So when you tackle him, you have to hit him and wrap up and keep him from getting out of your grasp. Because if you just try to arm tackle him, he'll run right through it and keep on going.
Kevin Eubanks talked about this defense of Centennial High, 24-game win streak. They've built up a pretty heavy program in a short time here in Kern County, and I'll get to that later in the program, Brian. 3rd and 15, Centennial sends 4 receivers split left. Maybe now we'll have some blocking for one of these receivers on a double pass. Crosby drops straight back. Going deep again. He's got a man open. It's a great pass and a great catch by Nick Solis. So Nick Solis brings the ball up to the 50-yard line. Great effort by Nick, and another great effort again by Crosby's arm.
Yeah, and what they're doing, they're getting them in man-to-man coverage. You just pop tight end off the line, and he runs a corner route, against a player that might be a little bit slower than him. He's wide open. You know, 3rd and long, sometimes you want to go, that's when you want to play that tight zone defense and maybe blitz out of the zone, as opposed to trying to play bump and pressure man-to-man. Because you remember, when you do that, you have everybody out of the backfield. If one guy gets behind you, it could be big trouble for you.
A la 35-yard first down. 1st and 10. Crosby takes the handoff, keeps it himself. Gets about 4 yards out of that play. And, you know, one of my questions coming into this game was, will Sam Betty be the difference in this ball game, the quarterback for Stockdale High School? Another quarterback as far as a matchup for Crosby. We saw Crosby, you know, against BHS, I believe it was week 4. And, wow, that kid can run, too. And he's moved up the ranks in Kern County. He's number 7 overall as a quarterback. 42 for 77, 515 yards, 5 TDs. Will he be the key factor?
You know, and so far he is. I mean, he's throwing stripes, big touchdown, big first down play.
And here he is on a keeper. He decides to give it off to Houston. Houston, a nice first down, but we've seen a flag come up and go down. My colleague Brian Adams thinks it's holding, and it is holding. So a nice flea flicker or forward lateral.
Yeah, that's just a shovel pass. Instead of just staying in the pocket and pitching it, they just kind of moved out like they're rolling out and pitched it.
So what would have been another impressive first down for Centennial, it's called back. Crosby dishes it off to Houston, and a real well-executed play, except for one player that was holding on a defensive player, and that brings up a long 2nd down. Hey, Kern County, you're watching Time Warner's High School Game of the Week, brought to you exclusively by the law firm of Young Woolridge. We'll announce the Young Woolridge player of the game later. KERN 1410, Real Rock 104.3, and the Real Rock Jesus Shack. 2nd and 20 for Centennial. Big plays come and go by these guys, but penalties can also bring them back. Crosby drops back, takes the handoff, throws the ball out there to Jason Caprioli. Caprioli gets up to about the original line of scrimmage. It'll be about 3rd and 11. So we're also seeing Crosby pretty much use everybody.
Yeah, you know, and that's the good thing. You know, Coach Nixon was a quarterback himself, and he understands the importance of putting the ball in different places. When you throw the ball to one receiver all the time, it's easy for a defense to take that away. When you're throwing the ball to backs, receivers, tight ends, the defense has no idea where the ball's going to go, so they have to play everybody straight up.
3rd and 11. Jeff Crosby already having a very good first quarter. He drops back. The ball is deflected, almost intercepted, and that'll bring up 4th down. So Stockdale defensive front line breaks through, gets their hands up, does the job. It'll be 4th down for Centennial.
You know, not only they break through and make a big play right here, but also they went to a zone, so there were less people open. You know, you don't have that much time when the defense the front line's getting pressure like that. And on a zone, you got to find those spots to get open, and nobody was there.
Big Aaron Boffman came in there with that deflection, did his job. So Centennial punts it away. Almost blocked, but it is not. And here comes Garrett Anthony. He's smothered quickly. So, wow, punt almost blocked, goes deep. Anthony gets nothing back. So, 1st down, Stockdale High. Thanks for tuning in. Here's our first look from head coach Nixon from Centennial. Earlier in our season, our pregame guest, Kevin Eubanks, referred to him as a genius. And he makes the move with Chris Hudson, puts him at tailback, and in a short time, Chris Houston racks up some big numbers. I'm not quite sure that's the only thing he's known for being a genius for. He's also a great motivator, and he's got the Centennial squad really playing well. 1st and 10 for Stockdale. Let's see if they can get the ball rolling here. Betty drops back. He's under big-time pressure. He will not get it off. Flag on the play, thrown for a loss of about 15 yards. Let's see what the flag is. If it's salt on the wound, I hope not. And it is.
And they'll probably decline this because they got the sack and they get the loss of down with almost the same distance.
So Betty's, he's a tall guy. He drops back and he thinks he can see over everybody. 6'5", 215. But when you've got guys hanging on your ankles and swinging arms in your face, there's nothing you can do.
And right there, you see, the coaches coming back and they're figuring out the defense, saying what's going on, and they seem to figure out what went wrong after that first series on the first play. But they're right now figuring out, and that's not the way the offense for Stockdale wanted to come out and start tonight.
2nd and 20, 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Betty drops back. Gets away from one, another flag. Could be another holding. Betty scrambling, trying to get out of bounds. Uh-oh. He decides to keep it and take on about 5 Centennial players, but another flag, Brian.
Yep, and I think it's going to be going back again.
Wow.
They'll probably push this one back.
So, you know, head coach Dave Boyd in his second season, obviously having a very good season here, second year here. But when you're down 0-7 in the first quarter at home and you're, you know, penalty after penalty after penalty, we saw this with them against VHS, game 1, and obviously we know what happened in that game. They came through, but, you know, in week 6, Brian, you don't want to see this.
No, you don't want to see a lot of penalties like this, but, you know, I mean, that's what happens when you play against players that are making good plays, because, I mean, Centennial has a good defense. You know, Baker on that defensive line, they get a lot of pressure, and when guys are busting through like that, holdings happen.
Betty has Ojukwu in the backfield. Ojukwu silenced so far in this first quarter. It's 3rd and 14. Big play, as big plays go here this early. Betty drops back, rifles one right up the middle. Oh, threw it just behind Shelton. And Shelton could have made a great play, and I'm not sure he had a first down anyway.
No, he probably was going to be a little short, but right here, Betty just throws through the hole in the zone, a little bit behind Shelton. I'm telling you, he'll come back and make that catch. This kid has very good hand-eye coordination and catches the ball well.
So 4th and 14 for the Mustangs of Stockdale. Black jerseys on, black jerseys off. Chris Houston will be deep for Centennial at his own 40-yard line. Here comes Sam Betty, quarterback slash punter now that Perez is out. Betty, end over end, wobbly punt, lands at the 48-yard line, goes out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. So that's where the Golden Hawks will take over. You're watching Time Warner's High School Game of the Week. Don't forget, we'll announce our Young Woolridge Player of the Game. We've had some fine athletes win this award, and look forward to announcing that.
The drawing will be at halftime.
Brian, Bakersfield High School getting things rolling here.
Well, I think, you know, we talked about this. With that tough schedule they played in the preseason, I mean, a lot of those games they were in, they barely lost. You know, good game against Centennial, barely lost. Good game against Stockdale, barely lost. So that tough schedule is going to benefit them in their league, because now they got some confidence. Now they beat Pastor Namir, who also has some tough losses against some quality teams. So I look forward to seeing the Thrillers start to put it on in the league.
Centennial 1st and 10 on their own 43-yard line. Jeff Crosby, the quarterback, hands the ball off to Houston. Houston bobbles the ball out of the backfield, and then he starts bobbling heads because he gets about a 35-yard carry, a big first down. And Chris Houston's here.
He's here, but we also got, you know, he's running behind the big fellow over there, Matt Reese. So Matt Reese is also driving this player back 10 yards. So
you can afford to bobble the ball.
Well, as Houston's running, we also give some credit to Matt Reese. I mean, that run right there is created because Matt Reese blowing the guy off the line and creating a huge hole to run through.
Absolutely. 1st and 10. Speaking of linemen, we have an offsides on Dwight Murray. And maybe if the guy wasn't so big, I wouldn't be able to see his numbers so quickly. But offside penalty, and could it be? You never know. An offensive lineman tonight named Young Woolridge Player of the Game. If he continues, he or any of them continue to open holes and plow through the field like that, it could be one of those guys.
If we see him making Big John Ogden blocks 10 yards down the field, I mean, he has to definitely be in contention.
That's Big Matt Reese we're talking about. 1st and 5, Centennial on the 33-yard line of Stockdale. They've been making big plays all first quarter. Crosby drops back, has the ball batted down again from the same gentleman. Aaron Boston gets another big block, and I just saw his
here
next
he
to
just
me.
slides through, jumps up, knocks it out, and brings up a 2nd down.
Passed by Big Heath Buffman on the way up here. Another big Arvin High horse. There he is. Houston gets the ball up the middle. Battles for yards. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5.
Number 22, Travis Arbura.
A minute and a half left here in the first quarter. Thank you for joining us. We knew this was going to be a big game. I was excited all week. I had guys coming up to me all week long talking about this one. Parking lot's packed. There's no room left. Both sides are packed. Good stuff on a Friday night in October.
Well, you know, if you can't get up for this game, then you're not a high school football fan.
It is 3rd and 5. Just under 1 minute left in this first quarter, and then you'll get a nice spot from all of our sponsors that help make this possible. Stay tuned and join us for the second quarter. 3rd and 5. Crosby going for a hard count. Stockdale doesn't jump. Crosby keeps it, pitches it out to Houston, and Houston makes something of it and gets the first down. Houston hangs on, and he fights as much as he can to about the 25-yard line. That's not going to be enough, and it's going to be 4th down for Centennial.
I think they're going to get the first down. I think they got a spot.
Wow.
And right here, you know, when they're running an option, that corner has to read that and come up because that's his assignment as that pitch man.
I thought he went down right about, well, I guess not. Houston battles forward and lunges to get that first down. Great job for Chris. And that's a big play. Now it's 1st and 10. We're looking at Centennial marching down the field here at the end of the first quarter. Crosby hands the ball to Houston again. Houston goes nowhere this time, and that'll be the last play of the first quarter. It's Centennial up 7-0 over Stockdale. Come back for the second quarter, but first, a message from our wonderful sponsors that help make this possible. You're watching Time Warner's High School Football Game of the Week. Back in a moment.
Some things can't be built in a day. Things like honesty, dedication, good hard work, and integrity. Since 1939, the law offices of Young Woodridge has had one of the strongest personal injury teams in the entire Central Valley. Today, that team is stronger than ever before. Through the years, our attorneys have won some of the highest dollar personal injury verdicts in Kern County. Put our experience to work for you. The law offices of Young Woodridge. Integrity you can trust.
KERN News Talk 1410, Bakersfield's hometown news and talk leader. The station you can trust first for breaking news and the most complete local coverage. We are KERN News Talk 1410, bringing you the pulse of the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Make it a point of KERN News Talk 1410, Bakersfield's hometown news and talk leader.
Kern County, we're back. Second quarter action just about to go underway here. It's 2nd and 12. Centennial on the 27-yard line of Stockdale High. The score is 7-0. Stockdale received the ball first in the game. Didn't get anything done. Matter of fact, on 4th down, they mishandled the punt and were throwing for a big loss. And then, boom, first play for Centennial. They threw a touchdown pass to Eric Menace from Jeff Crosby, and it's that score, 7-0. Now 2nd and 12. Crosby drops back. He's got time, and he's got room. Oh, big defensive play. Wow. Some big plays already by Jeff Boffman. Aaron Boffman's made some big plays already for us. 2 deflections and a big tackle there.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about reason. We got to talk about Boffman. I mean, he's playing a heck of a game so far. It's only been a quarter and one play in the second quarter, so he's made some huge plays for the Stockdale Mustang defense.
Give me that better. Just underway, second quarter. 3rd and 14. So Boffman's defensive effort brings up an interesting play. Crosby drops back. He's got 2 receivers here deep, and neither one close to the ball. Incomplete. And Brian, it's going to be 4th and 14. They're going to be on an interesting part of the field, and you know, we'll see what they decide here. We see this play.
Right here's just a 5-step drop. Just going to try to drop it like he's done earlier, and this time there's good coverage, not enough separation. An incomplete pass, but I mean right here, if you try to kick a field goal, you're talking about a 47-yard field goal, so there's no need to really go for that. 4th and 14, I mean, if you throw it up, see if something happens, they intercept it, they'll take the ball on the 1 or 2 yard line.
Houston and Braden Bowles split right. Crosby got time, and he is escaped danger. Penalty flag on the play, and incomplete pass all kinds of things taking place in this.
Well, there's going to be a holding call. I can guarantee you that.
Pass intended for number 8, Jason
At the end of it all, we've got laundry on the field.
And it'll be a decline because it's your ball. Incomplete pass, first down. Decline that.
Holding the call against Centennial. And will be declined.
There you have it, Kern County. Brian Adams calls it. They agree. And just like that, 1st and 10, Stockdale High. We have very special young guests up here in the booth tonight. Get to that in a moment. Here comes our 4th down attempt.
They call the holding right there, and you know it's on Boffman, who's just creating a tremendous amount of pressure for Jeff Crosby right now.
1st and 10, Stockdale. Betty out to Garrett Anthony, backwards pass, so you got to jump on it. Big loss of yardage, 7 to 8 yards on that play to a real. Well, it had nothing to do with good momentum.
No, and you know, this is what we saw in the BHS game. It took a while for the offense to start clicking, but once they got rolling, it was tough to stop.
And they do have weapons. Francis Ojukwu, number 2 in the county rushing, 741 yards, 8.3 average a carry, 12 touchdowns, and he's number 1 in scoring. So Ojukwu, definitely an option for Sam Betty. Betty throws it across the middle, complete, out to Garrett Anthony. Very close to the first down, and I think he got it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a first down with that spot.
First down.
And this is what Betty's strength is right there, just throwing right there, pinpoint accuracy. As you see Porter come in to make a tackle, is may be injured, and that could be a huge, huge injury if Porter is hurt and can't play.
As Porter is being tended to, tonight's graphic we want to show you a tale of 2 backs. Chris Houston, the senior for Centennial High, running back, 5'10", 190 pounds, as you can see. Since they moved him into the backfield in the 3rd week, this young, talented baseball player is averaging, almost 180 yards a game, 2.7 touchdowns per game. He was our young Woolwich player of the game, so, a real talented running back for Centennial. Of course, on the opposite side of the ball, Francis Ojukwu. He's our sophomore running back from Stockdale High. This guy was our week 1 player of the game. Brian, your thoughts on these 2 running backs?
2 different styles. Ojukwu is speed and power, where I believe Houston is a player, that is nimble and strong. He's able to break away from tackles and go in.
Hey, Kern County, back in a moment. It's 10:15 left in the first quarter. Centennial leads by 7. We'll be back in a moment.
The media has become a staple in our everyday lives, whether it's a song, an advertisement, or even a news story.
Everywhere you turn, there's a message in one form or another.
Do you realize how much media your child is exposed to every day? And everything your child sees and witnesses affects them.
It's time to take action and become involved in what messages your child comes in contact with.
Filter out the negativity and let these messages be positive.
It's up to us to shape their future. Let it be a happy one.
We're back. 1st and 10, Stockdale on a big pass play to Garrett Anthony from Sam Betty, and now on this first down attempt, Francis Ojukwu gets nothing again. And the Centennial defense keeping Ojukwu pretty much under wraps here early, I should say early.
And that was a great play by Baker right there, but he was awful close to being offside. I thought he was actually offside, but the ref didn't call it. He timed that snap excellent. And if you have a decent lineman jumping the snap like that, there's a chance where you might want to go a hard count or go on 2 or 3 just to get him to come offside.
2nd and 14. Betty drops back. He's got time. He rolls right under heavy pressure, throws across the field, and I don't believe it is caught. No, it's incomplete. And wow.
And that's Mark Perez, who was the punter we saw get injured earlier. He's come back off, thrown the ice off his leg, and has come out and tried to play some receiver.
And I'm not quite sure he's all that thrilled that he did. He's back, but boy, upon returning back to the field, Perez, as you can see, almost comes up with it, and then bam!
And that's a very tough throw to run to your right and throw back across your body like that.
Jordan Unfried, we saw him against Bakersfield High School make some big plays, and just to let you know, Kevin Porter on the sidelines being tended to. We'll get you word as soon as we can, but he does look like he's up and moving around. Hopefully he'll be fine and able to return. 3rd and 14 for Stockdale. Sam Betty in trouble. Comes up the crease. He's got some room. He's got the first down. Looks for a block. And he's brought down at about the 35-yard line. So Sam Betty, using his natural ability and that tall angle that he has, and my man Brian's grinning.
And what's funny is, you know, we come out tonight, we talk about how Crosby is the more of the runner of the two. He throws for a touchdown. And here's Sam Betty picking up 20 yards or so on a broken down pocket and scramble. Right here, the pocket kind of breaks down on him. He has nobody open. He just takes it up the middle right here and runs it. I mean,
6'5" frame helps him, doesn't it?
Yeah, and he's like, hey, Ojukwu, I'll run the ball this time. Just somebody block for me.
So Sam Betty really showing some poise under pressure there. And he's under the center. 1st and 10. Stockdale crowd wants a score now. Betty hands the ball off to Ojukwu. Does Ojukwu get outside? Ojukwu almost gets outside, picks up maybe 2 yards, but they're positive yards, and he'll take what he can get.
But I mean, you can see that he is a physical runner. I mean, he's looking for contact. He's not trying to round a bounds. He finds defensive back. He wants to put his shoulder down and introduce himself to the defensive back.
There's a shot of young Porter over on the sidelines. He's back on his back now. He was up just a moment ago. And we'll try to get word as soon as we can. 2nd and 5. Betty throws out to Garrett Anthony. Anthony breaks 2 tackles. When he gets the first down, he's at the 23-yard line. Boy, that kid can move. So Betty keeping this offense going forward, Brian.
Yeah, and right there, Garrett Anthony, that's what you want to do. You get your athletes the ball. You get them the ball quick. You know, right there, it's thrown right at the line of scrimmage, but look at him pick up yards. Does a good job of stopping on a dime, cutting back. The next couple of players miss. He's have a big first down.
So these Stockdale Mustangs starting to get a bit uppity. 1st and 10. 8 minutes left in the half. Boy, do they want to get in. Betty rolls left. Fakes the pass, gets hit hard.
Oh, late hit on Crane.
Late hit by Unfried.
That's on Crane.
Oh, on Crane, sorry. Did a flag come up?
There's a penalty flag on the play.
Oh, wow, Jeff Baker came in and made a big hit, but now personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, and I believe you say it's Justin Crane.
Personal foul call against Centennial.
Doggone it.
Yeah, you'll see right here in the end of the play, and yeah, it's unfortunate because Crane is a very good player who's made some good plays in the BHS game, and you'll see him make some tonight, but he's already down right here. Then you're going to see Crane come on top right there. It wasn't vicious or anything, but you can't do that, and that's an easy call for the official to make.
And a very opportune time for the Mustangs. What would have been a pretty much nothing play ends up being a very big play. Now it's 1st and 10 on the 14-yard line of the Mustangs. And with Kevin Porter on the sidelines, the heart and soul of this defense of Centennial.
They haven't even moved the markers.
Markers have not been moved yet, but we've got Brian Adams on it, and Ojukwu is going to force these marker men to move because they've got to go about 18 yards to catch up.
Well, yeah, they
picking up the first down. It'll be 1st and goal inside.
Yeah, because the personal foul is an automatic first down, and
right at the 5-yard.
Who knows? Right here, Ojukwu comes through off the side, and like I said, he's like the physical runner, and he always seems to go forward when he makes contact. You rarely see him get hit back.
1st and goal on the 5.5-yard line for Stockdale. Here's Porter being attended to. We hope this does not become a big story because that will mean he won't be able to get back in. 1st and goal, 7.5 left here in the first half. Sam Betty. We've got stoppage of play. Not sure exactly why. Could it be timeout? Yes, it is. Timeout for Centennial High School. Hey, Kern County, we've got exciting ball games. They keep getting better and better, and this one is no exception. And I'll tell you what, if for some reason you would like to get a tape of these games, don't forget the hottest number in town, 322-1941. A lot of people get these tapes. We now know. I've found out from the office. People are calling in and saying, I like it, I enjoy it, I get to watch my kid play, and some of the coaches say, you know what, I see things there that I didn't see from our game film, and Brian, they appreciate your insight also. It's first and goal with 7:22 left in this first half. Stockdale needs to get in, don't they? Oh, hey, Brian, I forgot to tell you. You might even want to know about this. Tune in next week, Kern County. We're going to start some trivia here on our show, and you're going to have a chance to win California Adventure tickets. Brian and I will be giving you trivia questions. I'm going to rely heavily on Brian's past games that he's called in the last few years here. We're going to bring some things from the past, the present, and maybe even the future, i.e. some sophomores this year that will be seniors in a couple years, maybe some projections. So don't forget to tune in and watch us. Hey, Brian, with Kevin Porter out, Centennial defense has a big test right now here early, don't they?
Yeah, because he pretty much just roams around and just cleans up everything for you. So, you know, you're coming in, you got to just suck it up and make a stand here for Centennial.
The Stockdale crowd trying to pump up their offense. Ojukwu takes it to about maybe the 4-yard line. It'll be second and goal from the 4-yard line.
And there's Baker and Crane converging right there and making a big play.
Stockdale High down 7 points early. The first play from scrimmage for Centennial was a strike in the end zone. That's been the only score so far. And Stockdale taking advantage of a few penalty plays on the behalf of Centennial defense, have themselves knocking at the goal line door. It is second and goal from the 5-yard line. Garrett Anthony split way right. Perez split way left. Here comes Anthony in motion. Betty drops back. He has options. He has targets, but Betty may decide to keep it himself. Betty does not get in. An excellent play by Centennial defense. They covered that area very, very well, and I thought for sure Betty was going to get in, but he does not, Brian. Wow.
Well, I thought what he did do was made a great decision of not to throw the ball. You know, he's looking. He wants to throw the ball. He has nobody open. Right now, he says he's going to try to take it, and you know, this kid's risking that body, jumping out, trying to get it in. Wow. That's just a great play by the defensive players. That you have Unfried there.
And, you know, Nick Saliq slowed him down. So third and goal on the 3-yard line. Wow, what a big, big play for Stockdale High School. They need to get in the end zone. Ojukwu fumbles the football. It's fumbled. It's down. We have Centennial players saying it's theirs. But let's find out from the most important person, the ref. It is Centennial High School ball, and this crowd is going crazy for Centennial.
Well, they need a big defensive play, and they got it right there. The ball, Ojukwu just never had the ball in his possession when he took the handoff. As you'll see right here, coming right there, just never has it. Ball's already on the ground, and we can't tell who recovered it, but a good awareness, heads-up awareness play by the Golden Hawks.
Coming into your living room from an end zone shot, Time Warner Cable shows you the fumble. Guess what? It's first and 10, Centennial, and now they have 98 yards to get to the other side of the field and score 6 points. Ball goes up the middle to Jeff Baker. Still no word yet to us up in the stands, up in the booth about Kevin Porter. We hope to get some word, but he is not back in the ball game. So Brian Stockdale goes all the way down the field, coughs it up on the 3-yard line. Ugh.
Yeah, but Centennial's not out of trouble yet. They got to get some room right here, at least pick up a first down or some yardage so they can have some room if they have to punt, where the back in the end zone doesn't come into play for them.
2nd and 8. Crosby had a great first half for Centennial. Houston in the backfield, along with Baker. Houston gets the ball at the middle. Houston, 15 yards for the first down. He goes
brought down by number 24,
head on with Garraway. So looked to me if Houston would have made another cut, he could have had some more yards, but he just beelined for number 24, so let's go, baby.
Well, at that point, he really couldn't do anything. You don't want to get your body going lateral right there. You're not going to get by him on that move. Just run him over and get as many yards as you can, but that was an important play because they got him out of the end zone there, and now they have some room to operate and work with.
1st and 10, 5 minutes left in the half. Great point, Brian. It looks like a whole new offensive set now that they have a bit of breathing space. Crosby, quarterback, hands the ball off to Houston. Houston trying to get outside, cannot, picks up maybe 2 yards. But you know, that first strike they had, that touchdown strike, the first play of the game, you have to keep that in the back of your mind if you're Stockdale defense forever.
Well, yeah, but you know, and really you watch them run. What you gotta like about Coach Nixon's offense running the ball is that Houston gets a lot of opportunities to run through big gaps, big holes, because that fullback Baker comes out and blows people out the way, and the line also You watch them, they're down the field 5-6 yards on blocks.
Houston, the ball carrier, gets the ball out. Another big play. Brings us about the 40-yard line, and Houston just keeps on coming.
You know, and that run right there is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I mean, you're going to see right here, there's nobody touching. Look how big that hole is. See, those linemen are downfield, receivers are downfield blocking. I mean, as a running back, you'd love to have the ball when you have that much real estate to run with.
1st and 10 again for the Golden Hawks of Centennial. Baker and Houston in the backfield. Houston gets the carry again. Houston still on his feet, almost up to the 50-yard line. Run.
And right now, what you're just seeing, you're just seeing the Centennial offensive line just dominate the game right now. They're just saying that, hey, you can't stop us. Our big boys are going to blow out your big boys. You see right there, again, Houston's getting down 3 or 4 yards before somebody's even touching them.
Kern County, you're watching Week 6, Game 6, Time Warner's High School Game of the Week between Centennial and Stockdale. It's been fantastic so far. Houston again, up the middle, another first down for Chris Houston.
You know, Vince,
what do you say?
Well, right now, it's like I said, it's just a situation where the offensive line is just blowing him off the ball. I mean, he's getting down 3 or 4 yards before he's even getting touched. And when a running back has that much time to gather himself up and get some momentum, he's going to be hard to stop, especially with caliber of Chris Houston, who already runs the ball physical and runs through tackles.
3.5 minutes left in the first half. Centennial marching down the field. Boy, they want a touchdown. They keep giving the ball to Chris Houston. He keeps racking up yards. So with Chris Houston in one of our matchups tonight, Houston, 9th overall, with only 3 games as a running back, 72 attempts for 535 yards. He's averaging almost 7.5 a carry, 8 touchdowns. If you get into receiving, he's still in the top 20 for receiving, and he hasn't been a receiver in 3 games. So,
well, you got to remember, though, because you're not on the outside being a receiver, as a back, you still get the ball as a receiver. And in good offenses, your back is going to be either your second or third leading receiver on your team. So when you hear receiving yards, you know, that can be deceiving from a running back position because you can't get a lot of touches in the passing game.
Very true. That's the voice of Brian Adams, Kern County. Fortunate to have him here on our telecast. Always has information and always keeping me legit. We've got a timeout on the field. There's a good shot of Coach Nixon on Centennial sidelines. He's happy that he's up 7-0, but I think he'd like to put some more on here before this half goes into history.
Oh, yeah, you know, and right now, I mean, the offensive line is just blowing them out. And, you know, in a timeout like that, you come up and you're talking to your defensive line. You just got to tell them, hey, guys, blow your neck back and step in there and hit them first and get off first and see if you can get some penetration and disrupt the running rhythm of the team right now.
Here we go. We're back. 2nd and 4. Baker and Houston in the backfield. Again, the ball goes to Houston. This time, nothing.
And that's what penetration does to a running game. You know, we've seen Houston look like all league, all area on all those runs, and all of a sudden now it doesn't even get started because you get penetration by Nichols, who stops in the backfield and brings up a big 3rd down.
Let's see if head coach Dave Boyd keeps up that type of penetrative pressure. We've got a great coaching staff over here, and they've had a very good season so far. And, of course, as expected, have their hands full tonight. 3rd and 6 for Centennial. Same backfield. Houston and Baker. Here comes Crosby. Crosby fires across the middle. Great play, great pass. Wow, Nick Solis finds an opening, and Crosby's very impressive.
Down by number 4, Brett Shelton. But now before picking up the first down at the Stockdale 20.
And from our vantage point, you can see Nick take off already. He was open from the time that he took off from the line of scrimmage. And Carter does a good job of setting up and throwing a strike. He has a big target, doesn't throw it away from him, throws it into his body so the big fella can wrap up on it and secure the catch.
1st and 10. Here comes the Golden Hawks. 2 minutes left in the first half. The ball goes out to Chris Houston. Here comes more penetration. That's not working now.
No, and it was a little slow coming, but now they're doing it, and it's hard to run the ball if you're any running back when players are hitting you 2 yards deep in the backfield.
Kern County got a special guest up in the booth with us tonight. He's a young football player here in Kern County. His name is Cooper Dameron. He's helping me spot. He's got the binoculars out. I've had plenty of comments from friends and family about how many names I get wrong on these doggone telecasts, so they sent a ringer with me with binoculars. Thanks, Cooper. Crosby drops the ball off to Baker. Baker still in bounds, takes a big hit, but not before he picks up a first down. And, you know, Baker's a pretty tough kid. Nice big hit in there by Brett Shelton, but another first down for the Golden Hawks, so they mix it up.
And, you know, and right there, when you have the running game going, all of a sudden, the back out of the flats opens up. No, you got the penetration, so everybody's gone. He's open. He runs down the sideline, and Shelton comes up there as a safety and makes a big hit.
Is that cameraman Carlos or is it Ray? Oh boy, either one of our guys are going to get hit tonight. They're going after Ray tonight. Good coverage, fellas. 1st and 10. Ball goes to Houston up the middle. Last 3 carries for Houston haven't gotten anything, but then again he helped set it up for so many other options they have.
Yeah, he hasn't got anything on these, but he got about, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 64 on the other one. So
now he's split left. Crosby in the shotgun. Baker back with him. Crosby looks right. Got time. Oh, Crosby was definitely hurried. And good pressure in there on Stockdale's defense. Nice work out there by Chad Skeel.
Yeah, Chad Skeel's coming off unblocked out the corner and delivers the hit. And you got to give Crosby some credit. You know, he's not the biggest of kids, but he stands in there and he throws the ball and takes the hit. You know, he's a very tough kid.
3rd and 9, 15-yard line of Stockdale. Centennial does not want to settle for a field goal. That's an obvious statement, but with the momentum that they've had on this drive, it would seem like a letdown. 3rd and 9. Baker at the 3, Houston at the 4, and it looks as if Centennial, illegal motion. Is that the call, Brian?
Yep, linemen are moving.
Oh, boy.
Procedure call against Centennial.
You know, and those are big penalties because that makes it now, instead of a 32-yard field goal, you're talking about now 37-yard field goals. And, you know, at this level, that's a big difference.
Big Matt Reese, number 70, was not the person called for it, but he's the anchor and the boss, if you will, of that line. Matt Reese, 6'8", 340. Goodness gracious. What a big dude. 3rd and 14. Centennial wants to get in that end zone. Big pressure. Crosby stays on his feet. Lets it go. Hey, what a big play. And it could be a touchdown. No, a touchdown is saved. And they
called him out of bounds.
Called him out of bounds. Oh, goodness gracious. Braden Bowles has what I thought a really nice play. I didn't see his foot go out. Maybe we'll get a shot of it here. I'm not sure.
I mean, Crosby did a good job again avoiding the rush. And right here, he keeps his composure, throws it out right there, and his knee.
He was down.
Good call by the official.
Great coverage, fellas. Thanks a lot. We were looking for an out-of-bounds call, but leave it to the camera to tell the truth. His knee was down. Great call by the ref, and that brings up not a first down, but a 4th and goal from the 2-yard line. And we've got a timeout on the field. We've got a timeout, and that gives us a chance to talk about,
and right
first
here,
of all, this great play.
Good closing speed. Just didn't wrap him up, but
boom.
Knee goes down right there. So that was a great call by the official right there, right on the spot. You know, and now it brings up a big play, 4th and about 1.5. 40 seconds left. You're up 7. Do you go for the first down, or do you kick the field goal?
4th and 2. I'm going first down right now. Stockdale's not going to march down in 40 seconds all the way down the field. I guess, you know, are you thinking getting solid 3 and get out of here?
Well, you're getting the ball back at halftime, and this could be a moot point, but you put the 3 points on the board, you get the ball back, you come back out, you had a good running game going, see if you can smash it on them, and then, because Betty is good enough to get you down there.
Doesn't matter. Houston gets the call, and wow, we might have a Crosby's pumping his fist like he got it, but
he got it.
He knows.
But I'm telling you, that was a close gamble of getting hit in the backfield, not getting anything. Houston did a good job of sliding off the tackle.
So Kevin Eubanks talks about the genius of Coach Nixon. That's just guts right there.
Yeah, there's no genius involved in that. That's just having a lot of guts to make a big call.
1st and goal, 5-yard line, 24 seconds left. Will they get in? Centennial hands the ball off to Houston. Houston brings it up to the 2-yard line. And timeout is called with 19 seconds left. There's your score, Kern County. There's your time. Golden Hawks up by 7 on the road. Great first half. We've seen a lot of action. Stockdale has not scored, but they've had some bright spots. And the very first play for the Golden Hawks was the only score of the ball game, and maybe they'll get in here.
You know, I mean, it's been miscues really that have put Stockdale in the hole right here. A fumble going in to score, and then a botched punt that ended up being a first down. So you're talking about some miscues. Otherwise, they played a solid game.
19 seconds left in the first half. You're on the 2-yard line, Brian. It's second down. Draw it up for me.
Well, with 0 timeouts, you really don't have a lot of time to try to power the ball in. You do have a chance to throw a couple passes. If you're going to run, you probably got one chance to run because they take a long time getting up and developing the play. You may not get a chance to get a second run off.
Crosby should run it in. He's got the speed. He's got the arm if he needs to use it at the last minute. And he could run out of bounds if he doesn't have the angle to get in. Here we go. He's got Braden Bowles way left and Jason Caprioli way right. Baker and Houston in the backfield. He looks across. Oh, and he's
he's not in the end zone.
Oh, goodness.
That's going to the
How
clock
could
could be
that not
running
be a touchdown?
because the ball has to cross the plane. He catches the ball. His body's in the end zone, but the ball is on the 1-yard line.
Clock still ticking. Crosby spikes the ball, gets it down with 3 seconds left.
And that's going to be fourth down.
So that brings up what should be fourth down now with 3 seconds left, and they don't have a timeout, so here's
so you'll see right here, he catches the ball. The ball's on the other part of the goal line. The ball has to cross the goal line for it to be a touchdown. It's a good call by the official.
Talk about heartache.
But you know, they do this at all the levels, but it's a play. You throw the spike down, you could just as fast throw a slant.
So here it is, last play of the half, and it couldn't be more dramatic. It's fourth down and goal. Stockdale crowd on their feet. They're pumped up. Crosby tries to keep it. Centennial says touchdown. Referee says touchdown. Last play of the half is a touchdown by Centennial. The score is going to be 13-0. They get in on what is absolutely the last possible play they could get in on. Wow, Brian.
Well, that's the play they ran against BHS where they just quick snap it, and the Stockdale players weren't ready for it, and they got caught off guard.
Scoreboard tells you no time left. Only thing we've got time left for is the point after. So the equivalent of a last-second buzzer beater in basketball at halftime. Centennial puts it up on the board, and the extra point is good by Tyler Townsend, and just like that, it's 14-0 to end the first half of a very, very big game for both schools. Centennial up 14-0 over Stockdale. This is Vance Palm and Brian Adams. We want you back for our halftime show. Week 6, Game 6. Golden Hawks up by 2 touchdowns. Hey, Kern County, you're watching Time Warner's high school football game of the week. We'll see you in just a moment.
The media has become a staple in our everyday lives, whether it's a song, an advertisement, or even a news story.
Everywhere you turn, there's a message in one form or another.
Do you realize how much media your child is exposed to every day? And everything your child sees and witnesses affects them.
It's time to take action and become involved in what messages your child comes in contact with.
Filter out the negativity and let these messages be positive.
It's up to us to shape their future. Let it be a happy one.
Some things can't be built in a day. Things like honesty, dedication, good hard work, and integrity. Since 1939, the law offices of Young Woodridge has had one of the strongest personal injury teams in the entire Central Valley. Today, that team is stronger than ever before. Through the years, our attorneys have won some of the highest dollar personal injury verdicts in Kern County. Put our experience to work for you. The law offices of Young Woodridge. Integrity you can trust.
700 laps of action squeezed into 2 days. It's the biggest event of the year at Mesa Marin Raceway. The 25th Anniversary October Classic, October 19th and 20th. The 2-day, $90,000 event will feature the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Series, NASCAR Super Late Model, Ultra Wheel Super Trucks, Late Model, the Pro 4 Challenge, and the Cal Spa Super TT motorcycle. Over 200 drivers from around the nation, including NASCAR star Ron Hornaday Jr. Order your tickets now for the 25th Anniversary October Classic at Mesa Marin Raceway, the World Series of short track racing.
Hey, Kern County, welcome back. It's halftime. Centennial High School 14, Stockdale nothing. Week 6, Game 6, and a very big game. This is Vance Palm alongside my partner in time, Brian Adams. Brian, your first half thoughts?
2 mistakes, two touchdowns for the Centennial Golden Hawks, and they're up 14-0. That's about it. Otherwise, it's been an even match.
Of all the storylines we have tonight, one of the quirkiest ones is our quarterback storyline, where we expect Sam Betty to be the long ball thrower and Jeff Crosby to be the runner, but right off the bat, Crosby's throwing the ball, and we see Sam Betty scrambling for some good yardage, so kind of a twist reversal there.
Oh, yeah, you know, we talked about, like you said, one running the ball and Crosby and one throwing the ball and Betty, and so far, Crosby's throwing the ball and Betty's running the ball, and they're both doing a good job for their team, but the Mustangs have to figure out a way to put the ball in the end zone.
Hey, Kern County, I think you can hear in the overhead speakers, it's time, that special time for the high school band, and it being the home school of Stockdale High. Let's listen in and watch all the hard work and effort from the Stockdale High School band.
700 laps of action squeezed into 2 days. It's the biggest event of the year at Mesa Marin Raceway. The 25th Anniversary October Classic, October 19th and 20th. The two-day $90,000 event will feature the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Series, NASCAR Super Late Model, Ultra Wheel Super Truck, Late Model, the Pro 4 Challenge, and the Cal Spa Super TT motorcycle. Over 200 drivers from around the nation, including NASCAR star Ron Hornaday Jr. Order your tickets now for the 25th Anniversary October Classic at Mesa Marin Raceway, the World Series of short track racing.
KERN News Talk 1410, Bakersfield's hometown news and talk leader. The station you can trust first for breaking news and the most complete local coverage. We are KERN News Talk 1410, bringing you the pulse of the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Make an appointment with KERN News Talk 1410, Bakersfield's hometown news and talk leader.
The law offices of Young Woolridge. Kern Radio 1410. Real Rock 104. And Jesus Shack present the high school football game of the week, exclusively on Time Warner Cable.
Instructors are Mark Rodriguez and Amanda Thomas.
Kern County, we're back just before the third quarter starts between Centennial visiting the Stockdale squad. It's 14-0. There's your score, and there's our great sponsors that help bring this game to us. Hey, Brian, it's 14-0. That means there's 2 touchdowns. Here's our first one, first play of the scrimmage for Centennial.
This was a bomb right here. They got a big turnover, jumped on them immediately, threw a streak to the Menace right there, and that was just easy pitch and catch right there.
And then the second score we're going to see in a few seconds, that was at the end of the first half. We had very little time. Centennial marching down. They've got a juggle between making decisions to kick a field goal, not kick a field goal. Then they have to get a first down with maybe 40 seconds left. They get the first down. Then they throw to the side. We think it's a touchdown, but the ball doesn't cross over the goal line. And that brings up this last play of the first half.
And right there, that's just that play we saw against BHS. When they get close, it's just everybody lines up, and the center and the quarterback are going, and Crosby's able to get in for the touchdown there.
So that's your score. Those are your scores. 14-0 is the score. And a big game. We've talked about the implications. It's an October game with November implications. Both of these teams 4-1 for the season, 0-0 going into this first league game for them. And you know, we've documented it already, the SWIL dominance of Centennial, 6-0 versus Stockdale. It's big time stuff right here for Stockdale. They got to suck it up.
Yeah, it is. But you know, they have the ability to draw back on a recent experience this year when they were down 21-0, and say, you know what, hey, we've been there before. What we have to do is we have to get production on our offense and put on points on the board, and then defensively they got to get a turnover or some kind of play to change the momentum.
That's a good point, Brian. They in the locker room, it's very possible that, you know, Dave Boyd, the coach of Stockdale, said, hey fellas, we knocked off BHS first game of the year down, why not Centennial? You know, is Centennial the future of Kern County football, or can we have something to say about that and jump in there and into the mix? Because we've not talked a lot tonight about West High and North High, but in that same division with Centennial and Stockdale is West High, who's now 6-0, and then you've got North High at 4-1, and geez, or 3-2. They're as tough as nails also.
Yeah, you know, and with North High, you know, you're talking about a team that's disciplined, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, plays physical football, and right now West High, I mean, let's just put it out there. I mean, they're lighting up the scoreboard. They're just a highlight show. You know, we've had them on Time Warner. They haven't put up those huge points in the games we've seen, but, you know, you read the paper the next week, and they're doing 77, 55, 51. And so, you know, for West to compete, I think they're going to have to continue to put up the points and try to make it a high-scoring affair. I mean, I don't know if they can win a defensive battle with these ball clubs.
Eubanks has 6, as West ranked 6 and North ranked 7, but tonight it's our number 2 and number 4 teams. Number 2 on the field, Chris Houston bobbles the ball, and all of a sudden he's off and running again. Every time he bobbles the ball, he gets about 30 yards.
Well, I'll tell you too, and it's just a strange phenomenon when a return man bobbles the ball. Everybody kind of relaxes when they come down, slow up in their lane, and then the runner picks the ball up and busts right through the big holes.
Hard to figure out why anyone running full bore would ever hold up until the whistle blows, especially on a kickoff team.
But they do, you know, they just kind of settle down, and right there, I mean, this is not a Stockdale player within 10 yards.
Nice blocking.
and the wedge was set up. That's just a good return.
1st and 10. Jeff Crosby, quarterback for the Centennial Golden Hawks. Ball on the 32-yard line of their side of the ball. And a high snap. He handles it with one hand, kind of a broken play. Maybe not. Here comes Crosby. Ooh, nice big hit.
Jeff Crosby brought down by number 22, Travis Arvira.
Well, Jeff Crosby does a good job of saving the ball from being snapped over his head and potentially being some huge trouble, and is able to get away.
That's Travis
Arvira. Right
Arvira.
here, good one-hand stab right there. He's going to cut in and pick up the good 8 yards. And
wow.
Right there.
2nd and 2.
Can't elude his own man.
And I know Kern County, you hear me say a lot, just like that, just like that, just like that, but that seems to be their offense out of nowhere, just like that, 8 yards. Crosby, hard snap, doesn't get anybody to jump. He looks over, he's got Chris Houston faking on it.
There's a holding, that's coming back.
Oh, wow, good play. But, again, laundry on the field, and this isn't the first time they've had a nice long run by their quarterback called back.
Well, again, that's just an easy call out there. You get a situation when you're a lineman and, you know, you want to make that block and the defensive player gets a little angle on you and has a chance to make the play, and you just hold them and go on back 10 yards. Right here, this is designed the whole time. You can see Jeff's going to run the ball out to his left. And there's the holding right there.
Doggone it. Well, my spotter up here on the bench for me, young Cooper Dameron, had that picked out. He said that was number 76 on the hold. But nevertheless, Centennial not fretting, not worried, I don't think. They've got that talented offense in gear tonight. They have 14 points. They're up by 2 TDs. They've got the ball. It's the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Doesn't seem to phase this offensive powerhouse here. Here we go. Crosby, another hard count, trying to get people to jump off sides. Doesn't happen. Crosby looks back. Has Chris Houston out on the side. Just neglects to go to Houston. Throws wide right to Nick Salitz, and I don't think Salitz ever had a chance.
No, and that's a tough throw. Throw from that half to that far out is a tough throw and a dangerous throw. Right here, he has time, but there's nobody open. A good coverage this time. Try to throw the out to Salitz, but right here, it's just out of his range and good coverage. Because if it's throwing anything short, Hansen is as good athlete as he is. I can guarantee he'll pick it and go to the house with it.
And to be honest with you, it might have been a pickup of 1 yard. So 3rd and 18. Centennial coming into the field of Stockdale and putting up 2 TDs in the first half. Here comes Crosby, flushed out of the pocket again. He might get caught from behind. He gets caught from the side and gets forced out of bounds. Still not brought down, but worked out of bounds by, of all people, Brett Shelton, who ran all the way across the field to get him. So that's 4th down for Centennial. So Stockdale has to be happy that they kept Centennial from doing any damage in this
they
first
got the
series.
8 of a holding call, then they just played good solid defense for 3 plays, and right now, you know, they're going to get a chance to get great field position and hopefully fill the punt with one of their other exciting runners in Anthony Garrett. Garrett Anthony, I'm sorry.
Anthony back on his own 40-yard line. A high punt, and it doesn't go anywhere either. So Jason Lavorne doesn't get much out of his punt, and they have to just knock it down on their own 45-yard line, so maybe a 20-yard punt.
So great field position right now, and they have to come out and take advantage of this. This is what they did against VHS. They came right out of the half, and they were aggressive, and they attacked. They're going to have to do it again because they're going to score 14 points to tie the game against the Centennial Golden Hawk team that really, once they get the ball on offense, can run the clock, can take a lot of time off the clock from them.
Great point remembering that in that BHS game. Right out the chute in the second half, they started things up. So here we go. Garrett Anthony in motion. The ball goes to Anthony. Anthony goes wide right. Picks up about 5 yards, and looked as if that Stockdale receiver kind of stopped blocking out there, kind of gave it up. Anthony could have had more. He's a speedy guy.
Yeah, that's the situation when you're a receiver and you want to block. You don't want to force your running back to pick a lane. You want to give him a two-way go. You just kind of stay in front and shuffle like you would do in defense and basketball. You just want to stay in front of him, sliding your feet, shuffling and hitting them.
So what you're saying is, as Anthony comes around the corner, he wants a few options.
Yeah, you don't tell a good ball carrier where to go. You let him pick where he wants to go. Let him set your block up.
Got it. 2nd and 5. Sam Betty again hands the ball off to Garrett Anthony. Same play. Now Anthony's got some room. Anthony gets loose. He gets free. He might go all the way. Only one player can stop him, and he does. Eric Minnis pulls him down at the 2-yard line, so they basically just came left with it, and this time that receiver didn't stop blocking, did he?
He didn't stop blocking, and right there, Anthony does a good job using speed. You can see right here, he's probably one of the fastest kids on the field. The Juku right here is going to come around. This is like a sweep for you. He's going to come out, good block. You see no defenders even close to him yet, and right now he just uses speed and takes off from him, goes on the sideline, and we're talking about a touchdown saving tackle coming up at the end right there, knocking him out.
Eric Minnis.
By Eric Minnis, who scored the touchdown earlier.
So Mark Perez.
A quarterback sneak right here. You
Sorry
got a
about that.
Quarterback, just blow it in there.
So first and goal from the 1-yard line. Betty works it in. It's a quarterback sneak. It's a touchdown. So in no time at all, it's 14-7. Stockdale only trailing by 7. And here we see a head coach, Dave Boyd, walking the sidelines, working his players, getting his guys pumped up.
We've seen this before, and they have a lot of belief in themselves. And, this is what we saw last time. Juku getting pumped up, and when they do that, they start getting their momentum going. The Mustangs can run wild on you. So right now, the Golden Hawks got to come up with something and settle back down this next offensive series and see if they can get that touchdown back or put some points on the board.
We see that sideline stalk by that coaching staff of Stockdale. Fellas, this is what you want. We want you up. Extra point attempt from Perez. Perez smacks it through.
The extra point is good with 9:23 left.
So we're looking at a tight ball game here. All of a sudden, Stockdale comes out just like we mentioned, right out of the chute. Takes a break from a penalty and puts the ball in the end zone in just a couple of plays. So head coach Dave Boat very, very happy with that.
Well, we hear the Mustangs coming on the speaker here, but I tell you, you gotta like the fight in the Mustang players. I mean, they don't quit. We saw it in the week 1. We're seeing it now in week 6. You see the quarterback sneaking. When you got a big quarterback that he's just gonna just manhandle guys out of the way. The line's pushing off. That's an easy touchdown. Good call. But we watch them. Their demeanor, they get down by 14-7. They don't change their demeanor. They don't come on the sideline getting down, worried. They come up, they come to the bench, they figure out what's going on, and they do a good job of game planning on the run in the halftime.
You saw that quick shot of head coach Dave Boyd. He looks like a buoyant Boyd. Cheerful, clapping his hands, giving a good vibe out. Hey, Kern County, what a ball game. Week 6, game 6. We're in the heart of the third quarter. Centennial leads by 1 touchdown. Deep for Centennial on the return will be Chris Houston, number 2, and number 30, Robin Johnson, to kick deep for the Mustangs. Very active tonight. Mark Perez scoots up. Could be a little tricky onside. The referee's blowing the whistle right away as if it was a non-existent onside kick, and I'm not sure why they blew it so quick. Are you, Brian Adams?
Somebody was probably offsides there.
That's exactly what it is. Offsides or illegal motion on the kickoff. Well, there goes that secret.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, if I am going to kick the ball off, I can tell you who I won't kick the ball off to. And that won't be Houston. He won't be getting, if he gets by the ball because I kicked it accidentally that way.
Brian Adams referring to the talented offensive dynamo of Chris Houston back there. Here's our onside kick, and way at the top of the screen.
Yeah, easy call.
Hey, Time Warner Cable, thanks, fellas. What a great shot, and you're helping us out, letting us know. And, of course, my expert spotter up here, Cooper Dameron, finding out who was offsides. Thanks, Coop.
Yeah, Robert Johnson has to beat me on this kickoff. I wouldn't give Houston a chance.
Let's do it again. Uh-oh, you got to be kidding me. This ball goes to Houston, and he bobbles it again. Houston does not pick it up. This time it's picked up by number 30, number 30, Robin Johnson. So I guess the recipe for a successful run back is to bobble it or mishandle it some way. Stockdale will overcommit themselves, and then doggone it.
And right here, Houston was trying to stop the ball, catch it so he had a chance to return it.
Great kick.
Dangerous play, great kick, like you said, but Johnson does a good job. I'm going to tell you, I'm impressed with the Centennial blockers. I mean, watch this wall. They get the blockers out there. Cranes out there. I mean, they're cleaning people out of the way right there. That's a nice job.
So you got Crane and Chad Horton out there running blocks on a muffed kick return, and it still equals out to be about a 25-yard return. So things coming up for Roses here for Centennial. 1st and 10. This crowd's into it. Chris Houston gets the ball. Chris Houston breaks outside. Can Houston get free? Not yet, but he gets to the 50-yard line, and if you're Stockdale defense, you get tired of seeing that number 2 coming through these big, gigantic holes.
it's going to happen if you're not going to get penetration. If you can't get penetration with your tackles, your defensive tackles, they're going to just blow holes open, and he's going to be able to run like this all day long.
Well, he's brought down by Brett Shelton, but Chris Houston continues to rack up yards. 1st and 10, Centennial at the midway point, about the 48-yard line. The ball goes again to Chris Houston. Houston continues to carry, continues to take punishing hits, and gets the ball up to about the 45-yard line. And this time, the late hit is going to be called. And oh, goodness.
And they can't afford to do that.
Last thing you want to see. Let's get the call from the referee. Dead ball foul. Personal foul. A late hit.
I tell you, this is how you answer. You gotta like Coach Nixon what he's doing. He's saying, you know what? You scored, you're excited. How about let's play some smash mouth and see how you hang in there.
Here comes Houston, and at the
right
very end.
That's the cornerback right there coming in, and that's just way too late. I mean, that's not even close. That's not even. You gotta be heads up out there. You can't hurt your team.
That kind of looked like a big-time wrestling move where he just kind of dropped the elbow on him. Up the middle, Jeff Baker goes, gets nothing. So the unnecessary roughness call was on Mike Caraway. Unfortunate. Let's see if they can regroup and keep Centennial from getting in the end zone again. It's 2nd and maybe 8, right around there for the Golden Hawks of Centennial. Time Warner, you're watching the game of the week. Golden Hawks coming about 6 miles down the road to Stockdale. Kevin Eubanks was our pregame guest, and of course, always insightful, and he picked Stockdale to win this tonight. Let's see how it turns out. Jeff Crosby, the quarterback for Centennial, had a great game. Hands the ball off to Houston. Houston breaks up the middle, gets very close to the first down, probably about a yard short. That'll bring up 3rd and short. They keep coming, don't they, Brian?
Yeah. And when you have a team like this, stop a run like this, when you have a Don offensive line and back and fullback, you got to go to 8, 9-minute blocks. That means you got to bring your strong safety and your safety into the line of scrimmage and bring them and say, you know what, we're just not going to allow you to run the ball. And that's how you stop a running game like that, and you force them to pass and beat you on the outside. Because you can blitz and play some different packages out at front.
Matt Reese, the anchor of that offensive line. Tyler Martin's the center. Some big fellas. And as I say it, penetration gets through. It's almost like they can hear me. Hey, Vance, we've got it too, buddy.
But they went to an 8-man front that time, Vance. That time they stacked everybody up. You'll see right here. See, the 8-man front is an unblocked man, so you're going to get penetration somewhere. And right there's nowhere for running back to run. And that's what they did last time when they got down there.
Brings up a big 4th down. So as I'm giving kudos to the Centennial high offensive line, the defensive front for Stockdale brings up a big play here halfway through the 3rd quarter, because Centennial is now looking at a long 3 yards, Brian.
And Vance, when you go 8-man front, you put a lot of pressure on your corners and your safeties to cover people.
Crosby drops back, rolls left, goes across the body. Oh, what a great pass, and in the hands of number 8, Jason Caproli, and that would have been a huge, huge play, and it seemed to me that it was catchable.
And now it's catchable. I thought he could have ran for the first down too, but right there, he put the ball in the hands of his tight end, and they kicked it for a lot of plays in their career so far together. Good throw. Crosby did a good job throwing on the run.
Oh, across the body, and it was Nick Solis that dropped the pass. Impressive physical skills by the young Jeff Crosby, throwing across the body on the money, but to no avail. It's 1st and 10 going the other way. Sam Betty scrambles on his own. He rolls right. He's got room. He's taking the ball himself, gets the 1st down, and picks up about 12 yards. Here comes Stockdale.
I tell you, and Sam Betty's showing us that, he's physical too. I mean, he's coming out of here and he's hitting defensive backs. But right here, Sam Betty's showing me now that, he has the complete package. He's able to run. He can throw. I mean, he's just going to be a double threat to you now. As he rolls out here, bootleg. Once throw the ball, nobody's open. It's a good decision. Right here, he's going to clear it up and just get physical with the defensive back.
Of our player matchups so far tonight, 3 of the 4 players making their presence known. Jeff Crosby, the QB for Centennial. Betty for Stockdale. Chris Houston, the running back for Centennial. But where is Francis Ojukwu? Ball goes across the middle. from Sam Betty goes to Matt Nichols, a pickup of about 4 yards. And as we say, Ojukwo's in the backfield blocking for Sam Betty. Haven't seen much of him tonight.
No, but those are some key blocks. Your back stays in and helps out and gives the quarterback time. We talk about this key matchups. We're also fortunate to see two good tight ends play in Nick Seeley and Nichols. So, both these tight ends, they have good hands. We've seen that, and run good routes, and they're big-time threats as well.
2nd and 4, Stockdale on their own 41-yard line. They're down 7 with 6 minutes left, and Sam Betty decides to call a timeout with 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Hey, Kern County, we've got a young Woolwich player of the game that we're going to announce later tonight. Those coaches, they'll want to know who it is, especially if it's one of their players, because we haven't had a young Woolwich player from a losing squad yet, and they need to come back from being down 7 points. So, Brian, tonight good stuff so far all the way around. Really not that many flags. We've had some, and they've come at some poor times, but we haven't had a deluge of laundry tonight.
No, and we talked about it in the beginning of the year. As the games progress, we'll see less and less laundry on the ground. You see tonight, and the holdings that we have seen, let's get these guys, you don't want to see a holding, but you're talking about some tough defensive linemen that are putting a lot of pressure out there, and that's going to happen on any level. So, we haven't, like you said, haven't seen a large number how we have in the past.
If you're just tuning in, you're just flicking over on your remote control, you're spending some quality time with Time Warner, and this is the Time Warner High School Football Game of the Week. This is Vance Palm alongside my partner in time, Brian Adams, and all of the great crew, Time Warner Productions. Here we go, 2nd and 4. Stockdale High School has the ball on their own 41-yard line. Sam Betty, the signal caller for the Mustangs. Impressive game so far. He sends Garrett Anthony in motion, fakes to Anthony, throws across the middle, overthrows, and there's going to be pass interference. Oh boy.
That's an easy call.
Well, Jordan Unfried was all over the back of Mark Perez, and as Brian Adams says, easy call to make. And that's an easy first down.
And right here, I like this. They're using that play action off that little kind of sweet play they ran with Anthony. And right there, he's hit way before the ball's there. And just a little early, but he was right there, though, just a little too early. But
brings up a big first down. Stockdale all of a sudden in Golden Hawk territory. Less than 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Beautiful October evening here on the west side of town at Stockdale High. Betty. Hard count, and he gets Baker to jump over the line, and they might pick up another 5 yards with some laundry. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, laundry to us is the penalty flag to you.
And that play was what I talked about earlier. I told you about Baker getting on that snap, timing that snap. I thought he was offside a couple times. They didn't call it. You hard snap a player like that to settle him down, because he's just watching the ball and he's getting off. And that's what he does. He does a great job of it. I've seen him for a few years now, and every game I've seen him do it, he does it at least once or twice a game. So you hard count him to slow him down a little bit.
Garrett Anthony in motion, the speedster. Betty hands the ball off to Ojukwu. Ojukwu has been silent so far. Gets about 4 yards, and if they could get his engine going, that'd really help their offense.
Yeah, and Ojukwu doesn't look good walking back to the huddle. Like he's kind of limping a little bit there.
Oh boy.
And he's been doing that all night long, so I don't know if he came into the game a little nicked up. But you definitely want him at full strength.
In Kern County, when a player like Ojukwu starts limping, you've got more than just the football coaches at Stockdale High concerned. You've got the track coach as well, as we mentioned in our first game.
He got a long time to be healed up for track.
Hey, sounds easy for you. You're not his track coach. 5:39 left in the third quarter. 2nd and 1 for the team in black, the Mustangs. Aaron Anthony in motion. Anthony gets the ball. Anthony goes right. He's got good blocking, but very good pursuit from the Golden Hawks. But nevertheless, first down, Stockdale.
Anthony brought down by number 20.
And that play is reaping big dividends for him, Vance. First downs, big plays, setting him up for a goal line touchdown. And Garrett, he's a tough kid too. I'm liking a lot of these kids. Some of the smaller backs, but they've been very physical the way they run the ball. They're attacking the defense. And that's what you do when you're on offense. You don't have to always be the one being hit. Sometimes you can be the hitter.
Great point. Assistant coach Brad Showers, offensive coordinator for Stockdale, down at field level, calling plays in to his talented quarterback, Sam Betty. Betty sends Anthony in motion again. No handoff to Anthony. Betty rolls left. Will he throw across the body? Will he run? He's got the talent, the skills. He tries to go back right again.
Oh, good move.
Makes a quick move to pick up an extra 4 yards. Golden Hawks keep him from getting the first down, but Sam Betty using that natural skill and that tall height of his to make things happen, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, he's showing that he's just an athlete, too. I mean, right here, he's being patient. Last year, he'd tried to fire the ball into somebody. He sees it's not open. He steadies himself, and now he's just looking around to see what he wants to do. Says, okay, I'm going to take it off and run it. I want to get some positive yards. Sets up Crane to go outside, cuts back.
Wow.
And picks up 5 or 6 yards right there.
Good stuff, Sam Betty. 2nd and 3. Centennial's 26-yard line. Betty rolls left again. Almost looked like the exact same play. Wow, he's got more yardage. This time he keeps it again, and he gets another first down. So he keeps piling up first downs like they're nothing. But believe me, they're more than nothing. He's working, and they're after him.
We thought Ojukwu was going to be the guy running for 100 yards, but it's like Betty's trying to pile up the 100-yard stats. Right here, it's the same play, like you said, Vance. It's not open again, and right here, just lose contain. And once you lose contain at defensive end position, you allow that quarterback to have a lot of time to do this. And right now, he's picked up a couple big runs for first down.
One of our questions we had tonight, will Sam Betty be the difference tonight? 1st and 10. Tall, strong, poised quarterback. He's a senior. Pitches the ball off to Ojukwu. Ojukwu trying to get outside. Ojukwu, wow, almost gets loose, but a nice play out there by Jordan Unfried, who saved what could have been a breakaway.
Yeah, you know, and again, I'm watching around. I have to think that Ojukwu is a little dinged up because I'm not seeing the speed and explosiveness from him that we saw in the first game of the year. But right there, he still has good balance. But you don't see that burst of speed that we saw earlier, that real track-like taking off on you.
Hats off to Unfried for bringing him down. 2nd and 8. What a ball game. 3.5 left in the third quarter. Fake to Anthony. Ojukwu gets the ball up the middle. Ojukwu carries the ball for about 5 to 6 tough yards, but it looked good.
Yeah, he's close to a first down there, Vance. I mean, he was kind of like Chris Houston. You know, sometimes they don't have anything really there, and they just kind of shift their bodies around and get it. Right here, he's just hiding behind the big fellas there, runs through some tackles and fights for those close to a first down.
And with all great running backs, after enough carries, you start to get the feel, you start to get your footwork, you start to get, I'll use the term grip on things, if you know what I mean. 3rd and 2. Big play for Stockdale. Last time they were this close, they fumbled the ball on their own goal line. Garrett Anthony trying to get outside. Good containment by Centennial. He picks up 2 or 3 yards, but didn't get in.
No, but what I like about it is he picked up the first down. You know, he didn't try to stop and make something great happen and break the 12-yard touchdown. He understood where the first down marker was. He made sure that he got it, and he keeps the drive going.
1 word, 3 syllables, momentum.
And we know Mr. Mo, you being an ex-athlete myself, is just very fickle.
Mr. Mo can switch his loyalties very quickly, so momentum very much in the favor of Stockdale right now. They need to get in the end zone, tie this ball game up, and send this crowd into a bit of a third quarter tizzy.
They need to hurry up and get out, though. You don't want to take a delay game or a timeout right now because you never know how important a timeout can be in the end of this game.
And the way you and I go, you just did it. You just did it, Brian.
Well, I didn't do it. I mean, they did it. You know, they took a long time getting out of the huddle.
Actually, you did your job. You called exactly what was about to happen. We could feel the clock just ticking away in our mental clock. And sure enough, we talk about Mr. Momentum.
And those kind of things can stop you. You're rolling and something like that happens and just starts, get you on a bad streak the other way. But they have to settle down right now.
So now it's 1st and 12 instead of 1st and goal from the 5, or from the 7. Betty feeling pressure. He looks like he's got a wide open receiver. Will he get inside though? Garrett Anthony does.
Hey. Yeah, kick the, yeah, they're gonna go for extra point. And I tell you, you talk about Betty making a difference. Betty is making a huge difference. I mean, that's all Sam Betty right there. Makes a guy miss. Finds an open receiver, tosses it in.
What I noticed about this play, and we'll see it after this point after is that he didn't try to ram it and rifle that pass in there. He saw his man open. He lobbed it in there, albeit a little short because he knew, I've got a guy wide open. The last thing I want to do is try to rip his fingers off. Extra point, it's hit by Perez. We'll tie this ball game up. Very important. It's up and it's good. We're tied up 14-all after another impressive, calm, cool, collected touchdown by Sam Betty. Touchdown pass.
And you know, and that comes from when your coach breathes that kind of confidence, it goes to the players. And you got to give Coach Boyd and his staff some credit because they didn't panic. You never saw them get down. They're right back in the game. You see right here, does a good job of eluding the defensive end there. Tosses the ball. That's a tough pass to make. Tossing over a lineman in your way. And Garrett does the rest with just a nice move and touchdown.
If you're a college scout tonight, you're here to see a lot of players. Actually, you can probably pick about 10 guys out of here you're looking to see. Sam Betty has to be happy with his performance tonight, and we've got a lot of time left. 14 minutes left in this ball game. So
yeah, you know, if you're a college scout looking at Betty, you have Gary Anthony right there, who's been very instrumental in this comeback to tie it up. You know, if you're looking at Sam Betty, you gotta like his height first, his strong arm. But if you haven't seen what has impressed you is his ability to be poised and calm under pressure and run the ball. I mean, he's done a great job of beating you with his arm and his legs tonight.
Brian, you and I both know that poise and cool collectiveness under pressure is not a stat in anybody's stat book, but it pays its dividends when you witness it firsthand, don't you?
Oh, yes, it does. I mean, and this is our second chance to see him do this, and it's just amazing to watch how he keeps his composure.
Well, Perez decides to kick it deep in the neighborhood of Chris Houston, but it is not Houston. We've got a penalty. No, he just stepped in the end zone. Thought we had a flag at first, but he basically just put his foot in the end zone, and it's touchback.
You know, another thing I like is now I just saw all the players, once the ball's called in the touchback, they run all the way through the end zone. I like that. That's very good stuff. As a team, they do it, and just to show the end of the game. But right now, the defense has to come up big again because I believe you're going to see Houston. You see him coming right there, and he's in the end zone right there, and momentum took him in, so we're going to make it a touchback.
So Robin Johnson catches the ball on the -1 inch line.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
You want to change?
2 minutes left in this third quarter. So Centennial all of a sudden sees itself tied up after they went into the locker room at halftime, up 14, and in this third quarter alone, Stockdale's back. Crosby, the quarterback for Centennial, having a great game himself. Hands the ball off to Houston. Stockdale holds him to 1 yard.
Well, now you're starting to get some confidence going on defense now, too. And, you know, that's how it kind of rolls. But, again, you know they're going to come with Houston to attack you. I think you got to just take your chances, play some 8 and 9 man fronts, and put the pressure on that offense to beat you in the air.
2nd and 10. Split wide right. Braden Bowles for Centennial. In motion comes Jason Caprati. Crosby's got Baker and Crosby in the backfield. Ball comes out to number 8, Caprioli. Caprioli gets about 5 yards. It'll be very close. Well, not really that close. Maybe about 2 or 3 yards short of the first down. Well executed on both sides of the ball.
Right here, going out to the flats. He comes in motion. Not much he's going to do. Good block by the receiver downfield just to hold him up. Other receiver chance to get some yardage. And right there, nowhere to go. Good inside out pursuit. Push him out. 3rd and short. Big 3rd down coming up here. Big 3rd down.
Kern County, you're watching Time Warner's high school football game of the week. The high school football game of the week. We are the crew that's dedicated to showing you the game of the week in its entirety. 3rd and 2. We're tied up at 14. Big play for Centennial High School, especially momentum. Crosby drops back. Crosby's got tons of room. He gets a big block out in front. He cuts back and gets a first down and plenty more, but I thought he was going to keep going out to the left and just keep it going.
And that's a great call by Nixon right there. He gets him in a tough situation. And
Chad Holsey out there laying some blocks down for him.
Allows them to get a first down right here. They fake the dive to Baker. They come out, reverse it out.
And I thought Crosby had a ton of real estate.
Running. Yeah, but he still has to run by a couple people.
Chad Holsley's trying to lay a block out there.
But that's a good first down pickup, and that's what they needed. They needed something to break the momentum of the Stockdale Mustangs.
1st and 10. Houston. Hit hard. Wow.
Chris Houston brought down to number 71, Dwight Murray.
My spotter tells me it was Dwight Murray. He hit him so hard and got out of there. I didn't find it, but young Coop found him for me.
Yeah, but that's what that penetration does. When you stack it up like that, it's very hard to run. It's not as much running room as when you have 7 men in the box.
2nd and 10, Centennial on their own 43-yard line. This ball game's tied up 14-all. Looks like a barn burner in the making to me.
Crosby to pass.
Crosby throws across his body. Wow, one heck of a great throw, a great catch, great coverage, just a great play all the way around. Braden Bowles makes a big catch.
And I believe, I've watched Crosby for a couple of years now. I believe he throws better on the run. I think he can see, his height is a hard time seeing between the line. When he's on the roll, he throws some strikes. I mean, and he does that consistently.
Well, that's a great catch.
The end of the 3rd quarter, the score remains Stockdale 14, Centennial 14.
That's the end of the 4th quarter, everybody. Back in a moment with your high school football game of the week. We're ready to roll in our last quarter coming up in just a moment. Our special sponsors will give you a break. Vance Palm, Brian Adams, back in a moment. We're tied at 14 up.
Some things can't be built in a day. Things like honesty, dedication, good hard work, and integrity. Since 1939, the law offices of Young Woodridge has had one of the strongest personal injury teams in the entire Central Valley. Today, that team is stronger than ever before. Through the years, our attorneys have won some of the highest dollar personal injury verdicts in Kern County. Put our experience to work for you. The law offices of Young Woodridge. Integrity you can trust.
KERN News Talk 1410, Bakersfield's hometown news and talk leader. The station you can trust first for breaking news and the most complete local coverage. We are KERN News Talk 1410, bringing you the pulse of the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Make an appointment with KERN News Talk 1410, Bakersfield's hometown news and talk leader.
We're back 1st and 10. Centennial hands the ball off to Chris Houston. This time he's met by 5 or 6 Stockdale players that slam him into this west side grass.
Yeah, and that, you see the defensive coach, they're pumped up. That's what they want. They want some penetration. That's the only way you can stop a running game, is you got to get penetration, because if they get going downhill, they're going to run 8-9 yard runs on you all night long, if not 10 or 15 yarders.
That brings up 2nd and 15. Been a very, very good ball game from the beginning to right now, the beginning of the 4th quarter. There's a shot of Jeff Crosby, talented, strong-arm quarterback. He drops back. Crosby looking. He's got a wide open receiver. Wowee, another 15-yard pass. Fumble. It was Chris Houston, and Chris Houston fumbles the ball. Let's see what the call is. It should be, and it is Stockdale ball. The completed pass was out to Chris Houston. He took a hit. The ball slipped out of his hands, picked up by Stockdale, and just like that, we're going the other way, Brian.
And you talk about momentum, but you got to feel so bad for Houston. I mean, he's always fighting for those yards, and that time, give credit to the defenders. They knew he was fighting. They ripped it out, and they got the turnover. And Mr. Betty, do what you got to do now.
Sam Betty steps into the spotlight with 11 minutes left in the ball game. A very unfortunate turnover for Centennial, and an unexpected person dropping the ball was Chris Houston. Here comes Ojukwu up the middle, and that'll bring up 2nd and 9. Maybe picks up 1. Here's our replay.
Again, Crosby does a good job of rolling out. On the run, he's dangerous to his right. He throws a strike. What else is new? But right here, we're going to see Houston fighting, and then it's just ripped out and picked up.
They just shredded it out of him, got it outside, and next thing you know, it's Stockdale ball. Unbelievable. Mike Galindo picks up the fumble.
Yeah, and he stripped it. So, I mean, great play by Galindo.
2nd and 8. Garrett Anthony in motion. Sam Betty rolls right, has Ojukwu blocking for him. Betty gets the pass outside. He'll be short of the first down.
He's short of the first down, but he got crucial yardage right there.
Brought down by Unfried and Salitz.
Right here into the flats. To Anthony right here. He does a good job of cutting up. I mean, I'm really liking how he's attacking the defenders right there in the Unfried, and he does a good job of getting it to 3rd and 2 because now there's a lot of plays you can run. As the Stockdale cheerleader Dan said, that's the way they like it here.
3rd and 1. They're really going to like it if they get this first down. 9:50 left in this ball game. Ojukwu. Wow. We got the word from up here on the booth with us, on the Sky booth, that Ojukwu is not injured. Someone from the Stockdale staff told us he is not injured. Then we therefore asked, why is he limping?
Yeah.
He said, well, he rolled his ankle 3 weeks ago. So you deduce from that what you will, Kern County. We're not looking at the same Ojukwu, Brian and I.
No, I just don't see the explosion from him.
That brings up 4th and 1 on their own 48-yard line. This crowd is up. This crowd's fired up on both sides. Big play, Kern County. Betty draws him off sides, gets the flag.
They got him. Now, I'm going to tell you, I said it earlier and again, when you got guys going off on the snap like that, trying to guess it, you just do it like that, and they got him. You give a hard count, give them a first down.
So Mr. Moe heading south against Centennial. Momentum a key.
Right here, you see
in
the
this
hard.
call.
You're gonna see a hard count right here. And
Wow.
there's Baker. Because he's going on that sound.
Baker the culprit again. Brian Adams pointing that out succinctly. 1st and 10 on Centennial's 47-yard line. Betty from the shotgun. Rifles one out across the middle. Hey, look at this, Kern County. It's caught by Matt Scott. Matt Scott's got about 15 more yards to get in. He does not.
Oh! You can't hit. Don't hit a guy behind you.
Let's find out if you are correct, Brian Adams. It looked from our eyes that Garrett Anthony, at the last possible and unnecessary, I might add, second, clipped. Oh, goodness.
And that's too bad.
Well, the referee gave us a signal of holding.
You just don't peel back. You know, that's one of the things they teach you when you go on the next level is they don't want you peeling back to block somebody behind the runner. You go forward and find somebody.
So Matt Scott, hard-working Matt Scott, unfortunately gets called for a clipping at the very end of this play. Matt Scott with a reception. I'm sorry.
Reception, great reception. Good job of running right here. He's going to make a couple of guys miss. Good block there.
Right at the very end of our play.
You'll see it on Nick Seeley's right here. You just don't peel off and go back. When you hit those numbers, they're going to call it every time, and you just can't peel back and hit a player like that.
Present situation, 1st and 10 for Stockdale. Betty rolls right. Has got a lot of time, but now he pulls himself out of the pocket. Now he's getting hunted down by some Centennial players. Gets out of bounds, and that's got to be a penalty flag. There's flags all over the place.
Composure, composure, composure. You know, everybody wants to win the game, and these players are just from just being, very anxious to make a play on both players. These aren't dirty plays where guys are trying to hurt somebody. They're just really playing as hard as they can, and they're just losing a little composure, getting caught up in the moment, man.
Betty rolls right here. He sees that he might have a receiver open. He's in the pocket for 1 second. Next thing you know, he pulls himself out of the pocket. He's on the run, and the Golden Hawks in good pursuit, in good angle, Brian. And the very last second, after he goes out of bounds, this momentum just catches up with Mitch Horak.
Yeah, and that's too bad because both these players are just having the penalties for both teams. They're not coming from players trying to hurt somebody or do a cheap play. Vance, they're just playing really hard ball, and they're just not letting up and just being a little overzealous.
So an obvious call. Looked like our cameramen are about ready to throw a flag. First and goal from the 8-yard line. And now we have a reference to the clock by the referee. They wanted to clear things up. 8:29 left in this very tense ball game. First and goal from the 8-yard line. Ojukwu in the backfield alone with quarterback Sam Betty. Straight back, Betty in trouble. Is he tall enough? Is his arm strong enough?
Good play.
Doesn't matter. Throws it out of bounds.
That's a great play by Betty right there. He doesn't take the sack. He gets rid of the ball, keeps his field position, and gives his team another chance to score.
Tyler Martin's with the pressure on Betty, and they can't stop. They've got to keep the pressure coming. They can't back up.
Yeah, and I think Vance, he was looking to flip a shovel pass to Ojukwu, and it was just blocked up. See, he wanted to flip a shovel pass, and it wasn't there. And then right now he does a good job of keeping himself alive, and that's what I like best. Get rid of the ball and take a sack.
That brings up second and goal from the 8-yard line. Betty drops back again, looks left. Throws in the end zone. Oh, a fantastic play by Mitch Horak. So Mitch Horak has the late hit called on him, and now he comes up with a touchdown-saving play.
You'll see Horak right here. He just goes up for a rebound right here and tries to snatch it out of the air.
Coming into your living room.
As you see Nichols coming across.
Ooh.
Well, I think Horak took the interception away from Seelix here.
You never know. Bottom line is his instinct said get up and bat that ball down.
Great job.
Third and goal. 8-yard line. Stockdale, will they be denied again? A third time trying to get in this end zone from such a short distance. Betty's got receivers split wide right and left. Ojukwu behind him. Betty drops back. Centennial looking for pass. Pressure all over him. Betty being backed up to the 25-yard line. Throws one out. Way out of bounds. Not even close. Stockdale wants intentional grounding.
Good play again by Betty. I mean, the fans at home,
Centennial crowd.
Yeah,
Centennial wants.
You might be sitting there thinking, that's a horrible play by Betty, but no, those are two great plays he did. Because what he did is he kept you in field goal range for a chip shot field goal, and that's you can't speak of how important that was.
Offensive coordinator Brad Showers, assistant coach, conferring with his young quarterback. So that brings us up to Mark Perez kicking about a 19-yard field goal, 18-yarder. Look at this, Kern County, a mad rush in there by number 5, Justin Crane. He blocks it in its infancy, and that brings up first and 10, Golden Hawks ball. That's a big-time play.
Crane has been close on both extra points.
Lightning speed.
Again, he just didn't block him. Nobody blocked him. He came unblocked, lays out, sacrifices. Huge play.
And this crowd from Centennial is still going crazy. They're still up saying, way to go, fellas. Love it. Unfortunately, we have a player down on the field. I cannot see his number. My spotter's going to try to get his number.
There's Crane right there who just blocked kicking. I mean, he's an exciting player. Always plays a lot of motion.
Kern County, we've got a stoppage of play. We've got a player down for Stockdale. I'll get that number in just a moment from my spotter, Cooper Dameron. It's 14 up, just under 8 minutes left. Next week, we finally get a chance to see this squad from Liberty, and they're going to be at your old stomping grounds, Bakersfield High School, BHS. Starting to get back into that old winning form. Liberty, a powerhouse, ranked number 3 in Kevin Eubank's poll. And hey, TimeWarnerBakersfield.com. If you want to see a clip from tonight's player of the game and read my recap, highly recommend checking out TimeWarnerBakersfield.com. It's a great website. There's more to see than just our player of the game. But once again, TimeWarnerBakersfield.com. Of course, put the 3 W's in front. He's up. My spotter, Cooper, gives me number 61, Ryan Hernandez. He's up and running. Thanks, Cooper.
And hopefully it's just cramps and he'll be back to play.
Looked like it might be cramps. Hey, Centennial's so fired up, it's got their cheer guys out there. I don't know what you really truly call that, but 7:58 left in this ball game. We're tied at 14-14. Centennial on their own 10-yard line after a big-time field goal block by Crane. Jeff Crosby running this offense, hands the ball off to Chris Houston. Chris Houston working for something, as always, gets about 8 yards, 8 tough yards. He's back up on his feet before the defenders, and another defender down for Stockdale. He's crawling up slowly, and that's Josh Skurlock. You know, one of these things about Houston, these defenders that lay the hits on him sometimes get up a little slower than he does.
Oh yeah, he throws some plastic out around there too. But, you know, this is what Centennial has a chance to do. We saw him do it the last time, go 98 yards. Now they're trying to go 90 yards, and with the way they run the ball and control the clock, I mean, it could be a minute left if they score.
Could be, Brian. I guessed overtime with some of my buddies this week. You never know. Let's go, Dave! 2nd and 1. Crosby drops back on what would be a presumed running play. Crosby brings it back to throw, and that gives his line an opportunity.
Intentional grounding and intentional grounding. So they're going to probably take the intentional on that.
So Crosby in trouble here on 2nd down, and what I thought would be a naturally assumed running down on 2nd and 1.
We'll see a holding come out right in the corner right there. That's the holding, and then you'll see we might see the flag, and then they're grounding right there to avoid the sack.
So not the best sequence here for the Golden Hawks on a very important drive late in this ball game. So players from the Mustang side trying to find out what's going on. We get the call.
Against Centennial.
Grounding.
And a loss of down.
So we'll lose a loss of down here if you're cheering for the Centennial squad, and Stockdale's got to be real happy with this.
So they should decline the holding.
The holding penalty has been declined.
My partner Brian Adams calls it correctly.
With the loss of down.
Is accepted with a loss of down.
That's a huge play.
Nervous fans looking on. They've got cause to be.
On about the 4-yard line.
And, you know, they're not used to being like this in this game.
That brings us to 3rd and 18, Kern County. Golden Hawks deep in their own territory on their own 4-yard line. Crosby's got guys split left and right all over the place. He's got Baker in the backfield with him. What's going to happen? What could this play be? Crosby dropping back, throwing across the middle. He finds his man out there, Nick Salitz, just like that, has a 1st down.
Yeah, and right there, you know, if you ever need your defense to step up, they had to step up then, and Crosby threw a strike.
Yeah, what a nice play, and Selic comes down with it. Another nice catch. Thanks, Time Warner crew, reminding me in my right ear. It's Selic. Thanks.
That's a huge play by the Golden Hawks.
I need the help. Well, and you had mentioned, and we'll get to this in just a moment. I want to talk about that play that just happened in just a second. Right now it's 1st and 10. Golden Hawks out of trouble, and now Houston's got the ball at the middle. Here comes Chris, and another casual 17-yarder for Houston. And I say casual because he makes it look that way. You mentioned something at halftime, Brian Adams, and you thought that the Stockdale cornerbacks were maybe giving just too much respect to those receivers, and what does that do for your defense?
Well, right here, we're going to see this run right here. Good spin in the hole, and he's, like you said, he's always running forward and physical, and picks up a big chunk of yards right there. But what happens is when you play that soft, you give the receivers a lot of room to get open. And when the quarterback's on like Crosby is tonight, that's just too much area.
1st and 10, again for Centennial. The ball goes up the middle to Chris Houston. Chris Houston, 3 yards on the play. Houston, another workmanlike game. He just continues to compile yards. He continues to have big plays at the right time. He did have a fumble last quarter, but didn't come back to haunt them. So another great game for Chris Houston, and we still have just under 6 minutes left. So somebody's got to make a big play to win this ball game.
Well, I think Crosby made some huge plays tonight, and this is by far the best game I've seen him play in about 5 games that I've watched him.
2nd and 8. Crosby drops back. Quick rifle out on the wing to Braden Bowles. Braden Bowles again gets a 1st down. So in about 6 or 7 plays, they get 4 first downs. Golden Hawks know how to move the ball.
Yeah, and that's an example I'm talking about. Bowles is not going to run by you and streak by you. You don't want to play that far off. See how far off the defender is? That's an easy 5-yard pickup. First down, even making a tackle. Good tackle by Caraway, but he's so far off the ball that in a tight game like this, he's giving way too much room to the Centennial Golden Hawk receivers.
You brought this up to me at halftime. I wondered if it would be a factor, and it looks like it may be coming one now. Caprioli in motion for the Golden Hawks. Crosby drops back. Pass either deflected or slipped out of his hands. Chris Houston looking at the referee like, hey, this guy's popping my quarterback 2 seconds after he let go of it.
You know, and this one, you have a good running game. You can take a chance on first down right here, throw out in the flats, and we'll see right there. Couldn't see the hit.
Just slipped out of his hands.
Just came out of his hands, slipped out of his hands, and that's probably the only bad we've seen him throw. So.
Well, we only allow them one each, right?
That's it, one each.
Time Warner standards. You're listening to Vance Palm. My partner Brian Adams and I thoroughly stoked to be covering this game. 2nd and 10. 5 minutes and 1 second left in this ball game. Who's going to win it? It's 14-all right now. Crosby fakes the handoff to Houston. Crosby drops back. Rifles one across the middle. He's got his man, Nick Silich. Silich comes up with another first down.
Yeah. You know, and this is a situation right here. They're just wearing him out on this play right here. He just comes off his tight end spot and drags across the field in front of the safety, and he's throwing strikes to him. You know, and that's the same play that earlier it was a turnover. Now it's a first down. So, and again, Vance, that clock is ticking. 4 minutes. And this is how Centennial does you. They just kind of drive and eat up clock, and they don't give you a lot of time to come back.
1st and 10. Crosby drops back, throws it outside on the left side. Jason Caprioli brings it down again. Team offense for Stockdale, they're number 3 in the county. Team offense for Centennial, they're number 9 in the county. Both showing their goods tonight. Both quarterbacks playing very well. All of our storylines staying completely intact. Crosby, Betty, Chris Houston. We've really yet to see Ojukwu do much. Kevin Porter out of the ball game early with an injury. Key players in key roles. The pitch goes out to Houston. Houston cuts up. Houston gets outside. Houston gets another first down, and he plows ahead to the 18-yard line. Yeah. Just when they think they've got him in their grasp. He does it again.
And I don't know the defensive scheme that they use to stop that option play. But right here, it's just an option play. Fake the die to Baker, pitching to Houston. When I played, Coach Preston, he had us, and Coach Harnett was our defensive coordinator. The backer had the outside backer, the defensive end had the quarterback, and then the corner had to recognize and get the running back with the safety. But somehow they got to figure out stop that play.
Houston. Ball goes up the middle to Cruz Houston. He tumbles up another 4 or 5 yards. Here comes Centennial.
Houston brought down by number 24, Mike Caraway.
Brian, if you're head coach Dave Boyd for Stockdale, you're looking at the clock run down. It continues to run down. Some strategy has to come into play here soon.
Well, I'll tell you what strategy doesn't come into play. Let them score.
Well, of course.
But, you know, this is what Centennial does. I mean, they have the ability to control the ball with short passes and their running game to eat clock up.
David Payne for Centennial split so far left we can barely see him. In motion, Caprioli. The ball goes to Chris Houston. Chris Houston stays on his feet, picks up what we think is a first down, if not very close to it.
Well, man, if they score, there will not be much time on this clock. I can guarantee you that.
And for Stockdale High, who has valiantly come back in the third quarter, and now here very late in the fourth quarter, perhaps could have but one chance left.
And they might get to the point where they start using timeouts if they get a couple stops.
And that's basically what I was hinting towards as far as strategy as this clock continues to tick down low. We're tied at 14-all, 2 minutes, 27 seconds left in this killer ball game between these two Southwestern Yosemite League powerhouse teams. Here it is. First and goal from the 6-yard line. Chris Houston powers his way up and in. A big touchdown, and that puts Centennial up by at least 6. And this crowd from Centennial extremely appreciative of what these Golden Hawks have done on the road tonight, albeit 6 miles down the road, but still on the road.
But you know what was more impressive about this drive than the 98-yard drive is they were rolling, had a loss of down, 3rd and 18. They were on the 4-yard line. They get a big strike for an 18-yard gain, and then they drive down and eat up 5 minutes of the clock and put some points on the board.
Brian, the only penalty they had is the one that put them back on the 4-yard line, and then they drive 96 yards for a very impressive touchdown. Hey, look at this. The extra point also good by Tyler Townsend. So if you can hear the public address speaker right up by our stands, he says it best. 2 minutes, 14 seconds left. What a ball game. 21-14. The Golden Hawks lead by 7, and we're in for 2 minutes and 14 seconds left of excitement.
And we talk about players of the game. I mean, we might have to put Crane in there because that block kick turned the whole tide. As you see right here, again, when they're blocking good, he's running down the field 5 yards for a guy. He's willing to tackle him. He runs over the man, scores. I mean, Crane doesn't block that kick. Who knows what the momentum does? That was a huge play by Crane.
Extremely perceptive, Brian. You're throwing a wrench into the decisive process of what we call the Young Woolridge player of the game. Let's wait 2 minutes and 14 seconds if we need to find out who will that be. We've got a lot of candidates tonight, and you never know. If one of these cats from Stockdale runs one all the way back.
Well, I was going to say, Anthony Garrett and Henson, they both have the ability to make a play like that, so we'll see what happens.
Kern County, if you tuned in with us all night, you certainly got your time's worth. The visitor Golden Hawks of Centennial, 3 impressive touchdowns. They lead by 7. This place is packed. Everybody loves it. This is high school football at its best. It's Time Warner's High School Football of the Week, Game 6. Wow. Here comes the kick. Who's going to get it? It's a low burner, and it will be handled by Shelton. Shelton hands the ball out to Garrett Anthony on a reverse. Garrett Anthony gets tripped up at the 25-yard line. I'm not certain that he would have broken it completely, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, they would be glad they tripped him up.
Brought down by number 6, Coleman Sowers.
Tough kick to handle.
Yeah.
Gets a big high bounce, though.
Good job of Shelton, who's a baseball player, just feels it like he's playing baseball. But the reason why this play is going to work for you is because you got a player in Shelton who's aggressive and people have to respect. And right here, Anthony's a good job of cutting up the field and is just barely tripped up.
Wow. 1st and 10, 2 minutes, 6 seconds left. Hey, Time Warner, you do rock. Back to the field. Betty in the shotgun. Had a great game tonight. He's under pressure. Look out. If he goes down, it's going to be trouble. He lofts one up and out. And wow. Saves his heels, saves his team from a big loss, and makes another pretty cool-headed play.
Well, right now the line has to settle down and give him some time. You got a minute and 57 seconds, 2 timeouts. You can run everybody off deep and run one guy out and let him catch the ball, run out of bounds. All because Centennial's going to let you do it for quite a ways down the field. If they're trying to play that tight and not even let you run out, then somebody's going to be open way downfield, which I doubt will happen.
That's the voice of Brian Adams. He's been in these situations a ton of times, and that's why I'm glad he's by my side. 21-14 is the score. Stockdale has the ball. They're down with less than 2 minutes to go. Betty drops back. Betty launches one up. He overthrows both receivers, and that brings up a big 3rd down.
And you can see he has a very strong arm. And again, you know, when you got a 2-minute drill, I like to see the ball thrown out of bounds and take what the defense gives you.
There's the coaching staff, Stockdale, Brian. You know, they're going over every option. Here comes Nichols.
In a minute 54, you need a 1st down, so you don't have to go get 50 yards. You can get in chunks. You got 2 timeouts. I mean, you can throw the ball down a 20-yard chunk in the middle of the field.
And they're running close on time right now. They better get this play off. It's 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15 will not help them. Betty from the shotgun has 3 receivers, split ride. He just gets it off. Betty keeps it himself. He needs 10 yards. Will he get it? Here comes Centennial. They don't, and his legs get tangled up. I hope he's not hurt.
I hope not either.
Very awkward position. His legs were tangled up, and he took a hit.
He's a tough kid. He's getting up.
Well, as you can see, Brian, he's scrambling out of trouble.
Yeah, right here, it just breaks down. You had to blitz off the other edge. You see his leg roll up, but he holds it up, and he gets up. He's in the huddle.
Some pensive thoughts over there on the sidelines for Stockdale. It's 4th and 10, a minute 42 seconds left. 3 plays called, no yardage. That means they've got to go the full 10 yards just to pick up a first down. If they do not, this game is considerably over.
And they burn a timeout.
Yikes.
So they only have 1 timeout left now.
Well, the cheerleaders are staying positive, the crowd's staying positive, everyone's staying up. They're trying to make sure that they let their Mustangs know, listen, the game's not over, we're not dead. Stranger, crazier things have happened on a 4th and a lot longer. But this Centennial defense only had 2 touchdowns scored on them tonight. They've pretty much held their own, the heart and soul of their defense. Kevin Porter's been out since early in the first quarter. They've rallied around him. Baker, Salich.
And Stockdale's had the opportunity, the field goal block and a fumble on the 1 yard line. So, I mean, they've had a chance to be up.
Well, here's their last chance, Brian. 4th and 10, Betty in the shotgun. What a great game. It'll be a shame if they don't pick up this first down. Betty, tons of time. He launches one up. It's deep. He's got a man open. Oh, they throw the flag. This could be the biggest call of the game. Kern County.
I will tell you.
That's Mark Perez.
Mark Perez gets PI'd, but it's much better to pass interference than let him catch the ball and score a touchdown. It gives them a first down, but you don't give them a touchdown.
Brian Adams, you bring up a very important point. However, I see the ball continuing to come back this way. What's happening?
They're going to walk 15 yards and give them a first down.
Very good. Thanks for explaining. I thought there was double laundry and it was all done.
No. I tell you.
Well, there it was, and it wasn't obvious. But you're right. Why give up?
It's a good pass interference call, because if he catches the ball and doesn't score, they only have 27 yards to go into the end zone, 25. And that's a good PI right there.
If there ever was one, that was it. There's new life in this Stockdale crowd and this Stockdale team. Matt Scott in motion. Betty snags a high snap. He can do that. He launches another one off. He's got Garrett Anthony open. Oh, this time it appeared to be that it could have dropped in his hands, but made an interesting turn at the end of his route there. So they decide to go long again, Brian, on 1st and 10.
And they got a minute 27. They have plenty enough time to just get the ball, move the ball down and out. You can run a 10-yard out, break it out, go out of bounds. Clock stops, you got a first down.
Betty hasn't launched that many passes long tonight throughout the course of this game. He's launched 2 long ones back-to-back with less than a minute and a half in this ball game. These fans are really concerned about their Stockdale Mustangs. It's 2nd and 10. What a game, what a crowd on the Stockdale home side. Betty in the shotgun. Ojukwu back to block for him. Betty drops back, rifles one across the middle. Dangerous pass, he throws it behind Mark Perez, and that brings up a big 3rd down play, and that was almost picked off, Brian.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it was almost reception too, but it was almost picked off. The only chance Perez has really on this ball is a little bit behind him, just to stop and try to just catch it. You see it's a little bit behind him, to try to keep running is a tough catch.
3rd and 10, Kern County. They don't get any bigger than this one. Minute 22 left in the ball game. Stockdale on their own 38-yard line. Big game. The ball goes in a double reverse. Uh-oh, look out. Garrett Anthony throws off to the side, and it's...
Yeah, that's a little...
Goodness.
Yeah, you can't throw it to the lineman. He's ineligible.
Goodness. Well, a big trick play called. Double reverse pass with Garrett Anthony throwing out to what he hoped would be a receiver, but it was one of his linemen.
Receiver.
Well, penalty flag, holding on the call is the call.
Right here, they try a double reverse pass, and the receiver come out in the corner, and right there is just to the lineman, and he can't catch the ball. He's not eligible, but he was trying to throw to a corner route.
Richard Gianelli was the intended lineman, if you will. And pretty gutsy call, 3rd and 10, minute 27. We have laundry on the field. Stockdale wants to get this play off. Shouldn't this play be declined?
Yeah, they're going to decline it, yeah. You don't want to give Betty 2 chances to get a first down.
There you go. That's why I was confused. I was kind of speechless for a moment, but I thought they should decline it. And they did. That brings us up to, again, another crucial fourth down. Could be the final play for Stockdale if they don't capitalize again. Sam Betty in the shotgun. Takes the snap. He's got big pressure. He throws the ball out to Ojukwu. Ojukwu's got to come up with the move of his life. He doesn't. He gets hammered by Daniel Bull at the line of scrimmage. This Centennial crowd is ecstatic.
Well, the streak.
Brian, you can see this crowd. Go ahead.
Well, the streak continues right here. And, you know, good job of putting pressure, trying to throw a screen pass and catch him blitzing it. And right now, I mean, you got defensive linemen downfield, so obviously they backed off, so they weren't going for it. And, you know, unfortunately for the Stockdale Mustangs, the streak continues. And fortunately, if you're a Golden Hawk, you keep it going.
Who will be our young Woolridge player of the game? We will let you know in just a moment. The score is Centennial 21, Stockdale 14. This crowd is getting very, very quiet now, and they're basically moving out. The streak continues for the Golden Hawks, barring some incredible catastrophe on the Centennial side. Everybody's taken off. They've seen enough. Brian, be audible on your thoughts for young Woolridge, player of the game, as we watch the Golden Hawks go it down on a knee again.
Well, I have to go with Jeff Crosby. You know, he was in a position where his arm had to win the game, and I think he won the game from his ability to run the ball, and the throws he made in the crunch was just outstanding.
Well, Stockdale trying to call a timeout, and they do. They do get the clock stopped with 8 seconds left to go. I guess Coach Boyd just basically wanted to go out and talk to his players before the game's over and give them some positive words and let them know, hey, you fought hard, but now
I didn't know he was all the way up there.
we have a shot of Ojukwu limping badly on the left sidelines, and we were told up here on the booth that he was not injured. Well, he's limping quite heavily, and there he is. We got a nice shot of Ojukwu limping. For a guy that's not hurt, we certainly hope he's feeling better, and didn't see much of him tonight. As it stands, Kern County, let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. Centennial on the road pulls out a very impressive 21-14 victory. Our young Woolridge player of the game is that young man that's about to snap the ball get the ball from the center. Jeff Crosby, the quarterback from Centennial High School, poised, completely under control, talented, strong arm, great running. Jeff Crosby, the young Woolridge player of the game, as the Golden Hawks of Centennial High go to 1-0 in league, 5-1 for the season. They keep their win streak alive, 7-0 versus Stockdale in Southwest Yosemite League play. What a victory. Back in a moment with our young Woolridge player of the game, Jeff Crosby. Centennial wins on the road, 21-14. Week 6, game 6 is a wrap. Back in a moment with Brian Adams and myself with the young Woolridge player of the game on Time Warner's High School Football Game of the Week.
700 laps of action squeezed into 2 days. It's the biggest event of the year at Mesa Marin Raceway. The 25th Anniversary October Classic, October 19th and 20th. The 2-day $90,000 event will feature the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Series, NASCAR Super Late Model, Ultra Wheel Super Trucks, Late Models, the Pro 4 Challenge, and the Cal Spa Super TT motorcycle. Over 200 drivers from around the nation, including NASCAR star Ron Hornaday Jr. Order your tickets now for the 25th Anniversary October Classic at Mesa Marin Raceway, the World Series of short track racing.
KERN News Talk 1410, Bakersfield's hometown news and talk leader. The station you can trust first for breaking news and the most complete local coverage. We are KERN News Talk 1410, bringing you the pulse of the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Make an appointment with KERN News Talk 1410, Bakersfield's hometown news and talk leader.
The media has become a staple in our everyday lives, whether it's a song, an advertisement, or even a news story.
Everywhere you turn, there's a message in one form or another.
Do you realize how much media your child is exposed to every day?
And everything your child sees and witnesses affects them.
It's time to take action and become involved in what messages your child comes in contact with.
Filter out the negativity and let these messages be positive.
It's up to us to shape their future. Let it be a happy one.
Some things can't be built in a day. Things like honesty, dedication, good hard work, and integrity. Since 1939, the law offices of Young Woodridge has had one of the strongest personal injury teams in the entire Central Valley. Today, that team is stronger than ever before. Through the years, our attorneys have won some of the highest dollar personal injury verdicts in Kern County. Put our experience to work for you. The law offices of Young Woodridge. Integrity you can trust.
Well, it was a great game was advertised. Went down to the last series, 21-14. Centennial is victorious over Stockdale. And right now I'm going to kick it down to Vance with our player of the game, Jeff Crosby. Down to you, Vance.
Kern County, this is Vance Palm down on the field, my favorite part of the evening because that's where we have the Young Woolridge Player of the Game. Young Woolridge, the oldest law firm in town, responsible for presenting this award. And as always, Kevin Burton, Director of Public Relations for Young Woolridge. We have with us Jeff Crosby, the Player of the Game for Young Woolridge. Kevin?
Hey, thank you, Vance. It's always a pleasure to be here on a game, especially on a suspense game like Centennial and Stockdale. I want to congratulate you on behalf of the firm, and you just did a fabulous job, and job well done. I want to present you with a shirt, and Greg Muir, one of our attorneys at the firm, would like to present you with something else.
Greg Muir?
Jeff, I'd like to congratulate you. You made all the big plays when you need to today, and you came through for your team, and it's my honor to present you this award for the High School Football Player of the Week. Congratulations.
Hey, Kern County, the only way you can have one of these t-shirts is to be named the Young Woolridge Player of the Game. The only way you get one of these nice plaques is to be named the Young Woolridge Player of the Game. And kudos to this fine attorney for coming out here to present this to a Centennial player when your son played for the Stockdale team.
Even more than the plaque, but I have to give credit. He played a heck of a game.
And with that segue, let's go to Jeff Crosby. Jeff, what a great game. You know, the pregame we had Kevin Eubanks on from the Bakersfield, California, and my partner Brian Adams. We brought out a ton of key players that could have been a factor in this game, which means to me that you really do stand out as one of our top athletes of this season because there were so many picks tonight. You were our choice, and we chose you because of your poise, of course, your strong arm, your running ability. Give us your insight and your feelings about tonight's game.
This was a great game. Stockdale came out ready to play. They jumped up in the second half, came back 14-14. We put a big drive together, came back and made it 21-14 right there.
At the beginning of the game, Stockdale gets the ball. Unfortunately, on fourth down, they lose it. Here comes you on the first play from scrimmage. Tell us what you're thinking.
We just came out 5 wide. We thought we'd surprise them. We're known as a running team. We're known to power it. We thought we'd come out 5 wide, and corner just came right in, set up perfectly.
Well, you threw a great pass, and you had all of us fooled at the very beginning. I said, what's this? They've got no running backs. What could this be? First play from scrimmage, and as we see, a beautiful touchdown strike. I think we have another play of you, and that's the big play at the end of the first half. You guys ran it down perfectly, executed your time management perfectly, got it down to the 1-yard line, 4th and 1. Your second touchdown, you muscled it in yourself.
The line did a great job. They had a strong push up front. I just saw the hole over the center, and I dove right in.
Nipped halftime right in the bud with 14-0 lead. Hey, Jeff, you've got a great squad this year. One of your teammates, Chris Houston, was our player of the week in Game 4. You've got big Matt Reese on the line. You've got Kevin Porter, linebacker. You've got some great athletes. How do you guys feel going into Week 7 in up 1-0 in the league?
We have a great team, and I think we're really pulling together right now, and I think we're going to come out strong for the rest of the league.
Well, on behalf of Time Warner and Young Woolridge, congratulations. Your player of the game, Jeff Crosby, talented quarterback. Good luck to you in the future. Hey, Kern County, thanks for tuning in with us. Don't forget, next week, Week 7, the powerful, talented Liberty takes on Bakersfield High School at Griffith Field. We'll see you there. On behalf of everyone for Time Warner Cable, my spotter up in the booth with me, Cooper Dameron, my partner, Brian Adams, and Young Woolridge. Thank you. From Jeff Crosby and I, good night, Kern County. See you next week.